2 career home runs. The ball was collected for the rookie, and Shane collected his first Yankee Stadium curtain call. However, not just youth, but experience serves this squad, as Luis Sojo filled in at first, but ended up at third on a triple, and after his wind sprint was over, he received a well-deserved air conditioning on the bench. So both young and old helped the Bombers on their historic chase, and everybody wants to see what happens next. We'll all find out on the WB11.
New York Yankees baseball, live on the WB11.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WB11 Sports proudly present New York Yankees baseball. Today, the Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals. The starting pitchers for today's game are Glendon Rusch for the Royals and Orlando Hernandez for the Yankees. Hello, everybody. I'm Bobby Mercer. Welcome to New York Yankees baseball here on the WB11. The Yankees completed a sweep of the Kansas City Royals yesterday in that split doubleheader, the first time they've had it here at Yankee Stadium in 34 years. It was a big night for the Yankees, and the Yankees now are a perfect 6-0 against Kansas City. Please say hello to Susan Walbott. Let me ask you, Susan, have you ever been frightened?
Oh, sure. I'm frightened all the time.
Well, a lot of us are frightened all the time. Well, I can imagine what the rest of the baseball world is thinking about today, because what the Yankees have left in the wings and what Shane Spencer did last night.
And 26-year-old Shane Spencer, first of 2 home runs. Here's the first one off of Chris Haney. Hal Morrison, left field, thinks he's got it. A fan says otherwise, but there is going to be no doubt about the next one, Bobby, off of Matt Wisden, and this is going into the upper deck. 5 for 5 for the 26-year-old up from Columbus, making the most of his time in the big leagues, and he even gets a curtain call.
What a happy time for him. In fact, his mother was in the stands to watch him in that big night last night. 5 for 5, his first career home run here at Yankee Stadium. In fact, he hit 2. He also added 3 RBIs, last Yankee player to have a 5-hit game here at Yankee Stadium. Cecil Fielder against the Chicago White Sox. Susan Walbott had a chance to catch up with Shane Spencer before today's ball game, and she asked him what it was like last night in that 5 for 5 duty. Here's what he had to say.
I'm just ecstatic that people even know who I am. So, especially on this team where everybody knows who they are, and especially Yankee baseball, you know, it's right field especially. Those people are wild out there, and I'm still, I don't think it's hit me yet.
One of the things that I find terrific is that your mom was here, and it was the first time she'd seen you play, and she probably thinks that this is what major leaguers do all the time.
Oh, I made sure I let her know that this doesn't happen all the time, but she was so happy last night, and then she was crying, and you know, it's a great moment for her just to come out here, and you know, it made me feel good that she was here too.
What did it make you feel like when the fans were chanting for you to come out at a curtain call? Were you a little reticent to do that? Did the guys tell you, go on, get out there?
Well, I heard them yell, and they kept on yelling, and I got down there, and Joe told me to go out there and do it, so I said, okay, no problem. I'll go out there, and I'm just happy that I can actually feel like I'm a part of something.
Well, what a good-looking young man he is.
Yes, he is. Looks like the natural, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Well, we want to talk about pitching now, so we'll go to our resident pitching expert, and that's Tommy John. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you.
What about Orlando Hernandez? Good outing in his last outing. He had a poor outing against Anaheim before that, though.
I think the outing against the Angels was good for him because it made him say, hey, not everything is gold, and right there was a hanging breaking ball Matt Stairs took out of the ballpark. He has a hard time against left-handers, but if he can make pitches like this, it widens the plate and it makes him much more effective. Against right-handers, it's a piece of cake. He has that sidearm breaking ball that renders them useless. He's got to be effective against left-handers to be good for the Yankees today.
Well, he has been all right. He's the big O, Orlando El Duque Hernandez. And as Tommy was saying in his last start against Oakland, what a performance he had there. He went 9 innings, only gave up 1 run on 3 measly little hits. 8 strikeouts in that ball game, too. Well, the Yankees continue their series against Kansas City. Susan, Tommy, and I will be back with the starting lineups right after this. Please stay with us.
One question I get a lot is about this up here. Is it real? And looking at some...
The Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America, Toyota every day. Based on the Ardell Pope 1997 total passenger car registration. And by Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. And by The Wiz for total entertainment. Nobody beats The Wiz, a cable vision company. And it is truly a perfect and beautiful day for Yankee baseball. And before today's game, it was family day for the New York Yankees. That's Joe Torre posing with some Beanie Babies. And then Mariano Rivera, followed by Mariano Jr. on the field. It's always a great day to take a lot of pictures. Bernie Williams and family. And they will have that picture to look forward to looking at somewhere down the road about 18 years. So remember that.
Bobby, that was one of my favorite days.
Mine too. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for Kansas City, brought to you by Corona. Corona Extra. Change your whole attitude. For Kansas City, Johnny Damon will lead off, followed by Morris and then Offerman with that 27-game hitting streak. Palmer, King, Sutton, Leah, Sweeney, and Lopez make up the rest.
Here's a Yankee defense. Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, Martinez, Posada on the infield, O'Neill, Williams, and yes, Paul, Shane Spencer can play left field.
And we are ready to go, and Hernandez's first pitch to Damon is in there for a call strike. There he is, TJ. He has got to be feeling, as pumped as anybody in baseball today. Damon trying to bunt his way on. He pops it back behind home plate and out of play, so it's an 0-2 count now. El Duque against Damon. As we check Hernandez's numbers out, he's 6-3, 3.35 earned run average. And like a lot of these Yankee pitchers, they just don't walk anybody, and he has 72 strikeouts.
About a strikeout an inning and about 3 walks every 9 innings. That's pretty daggone good.
Joe Torre looking on along with Mel Stottlemyre. They have their sunglasses on this beautiful sunshiny day. And this ball club, 82-29 is the record for this ball club in 1998. They are on a record pace to break the all-time winning record. Popped up behind third base, but Jeter is there to take care of it. So there's one gone here at the top of the first. Johnny Damon has had a pretty good series. He came into that at bat 4 for 8 with a home run against New York. So one gone, and that will bring up Hal Morris, the other left-handed bat. So Tony Muser, TJ, has tried to stick as many left-handed bats in there against Hernandez as he can. And the first pitch to Morris in there for a call strike. Morris batting .311, 1 home run, 28 RBIs. He's only 3 for 20 against the Yankees this year. Not a whole lot of damage from him.
You know, on my way into the ballpark today, I thought I saw Muser on the Deegan with a sign up saying left-handed hitters come out to the stadium, we'll give you work.
Left-handed hitters wanted for Yankee Stadium Saturday and Sunday afternoon, especially Saturday, right? On the ground towards the right side. Knobloch is there, and there's 2 gone here in the first. Knobloch has had some problems throwing the ball from second to first, but all in all, he has always been pretty solid.
That ball, Chuck almost overran the ball, and then you see him right there. He didn't really take a stride.
It set himself, yeah.
I think that's his problem. He throws without getting his feet underneath him. And, you know, maybe just a little talk with Mel Stottlemyre, you know, about what you've got to do to kind of get your feet under you and step to where you throw.
All right, here's Jose Offerman. And Jose Offerman with a 27-game hitting streak on the line, and he is having a pretty good year. As we take a look at that 27-game hitting streak, he's batting .437 with a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs. And last night in the second game, as Stottlemyre looks on, Offerman hit one off of Bernie Williams' glove in his last at bat that turned out to be a triple to extend that streak. This is down the left field line, long run for Shane Spencer, and it's back in the stand. Spencer, as you can see, he plays with the sunglasses down all the time in the field. But now Hernandez in front of Offerman, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand for this third game of this 4-game series between Kansas City and New York.
Bobby, here's a count that really hurts El Duque in that if a right-hander's up, he can drop down and throw the sidearm slider. But with a left-hander, his best pitch is taken away from him, and he's got to work and figure out what he's got to do. Maybe get a little more tilt, a little more vertical drop action on the breaking ball to left-handers.
That's down low. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. El Duque went 9 innings in his win against Oakland in his last start. And the breaking ball, that's pulled foul just above the Yankee dugout. Hernandez making his 12th major league start today. And a big surprise for the Yankees here in 1998 and what he has done. That's Jeter at short. And he will throw out Opperman. So El Duque goes through Kansas City. 1-2-3 here at the top of the first. No score. Yankees coming up.
From the moment their lives touched, she knew she must fight.
The New York Yankees battle the Texas Rangers on Thursday, August 13th and Friday the 14th, both at 7:30. Then on Saturday the 15th at 1 and Sunday the 16th at 1:30. On the 13th, fans 21 and older will receive an insulated cooler bag, compliments of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. On the 15th, all fans will receive a 1958 World Series replica pin, compliments of Chase Manhattan Bank. On the 16th, fans 14 and under will receive a Zoom toy, compliments of Primordial. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Burschel along with Tommy John. Susan Wallman will join us. And just like we do up here, before we go on stage, we put our makeup on, and so do the Yankees. That's Posada getting his makeup applied for this bright, sunshiny day. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the New York Yankees, brought to you by Corona. Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. Knobloch, Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, Martinez, Raines, Posada, Shane Spencer gets the start again in left field this afternoon, followed by Brocious.
Here's Kansas City starting defense. Sutton, Damon, Morris in the outfield. King, Sweeney, Leyes, Lopez, and second base, Jose Offerman. Couldn't play shortstop in the National League. Turned him over to second base in the American League.
And Glendon Rusch, his first pitch to Knobloch, in there for a called strike. Rusch with a terrible year on hand right now, 6-14, a high earned run average. Look at those hits to innings pitched. He throws that fastball by Knobloch. Now he's 0-2. What does that tell you?
It tells you he's throwing some balls over the plate, and he pitches behind in the count a lot, Bobby. And when you pitch behind in the count against this Yankee ball club, you're messing with the dynamite.
On the ground, foul off the third base side.
You know, you hear the Kansas City coaches and everybody said this kid's got good stuff, got a good live fastball, good breaking ball, pitches on the inside part of the plate. Bruce Keese and Tony Muser right there love him, but he's just got to learn to pitch, and he's doing it on the job in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's only 23 years old, but career against the Yankee, lifetime career against New York, he's 0-3 with almost an 8 earned run average. Hit pretty hard, but right to the shortstop Lopez, so one gone. Got in on the hands a little bit, but
we'll see the catcher inside, and that's that little cut fastball, and it's just enough to get around the label or trademark on the bat.
Lopez is short, and since Jay Bell has departed this Kansas City ball club, Tony Muser's out with another sign saying if you can play shortstop, see me after the game. And Derek Jeter, first pitch, base hit for Jeter. And the first of the game for the Yankees. So a one-out base hit for Derek Jeter as he continues his hot hitting. And Jeter had many, many fans here in New York and around the baseball world, and most of them are pretty young and good looking.
Well, the thing that he pitches behind in the count, and he's trying to pitch out in front, trying to throw strikes. And it's one thing to throw strikes, and it's one thing to throw good strikes, but that ball was low, out over the plate for a base hit.
So Jeter is on with 23 stolen bases. He has been caught only 5 times. And what a duo the Yankees have, as Paul O'Neill will step in. Pitch outside to O'Neill with that .315 batting average. He'll add 17 home runs to that and already 82 RBIs as you take a look at the American League leaders in base hits. And Paul O'Neill always up in that category, along with Jose Offerman playing in this game. And another breaking ball, this time in there for a called strike. Derek Jeter on at first base. I was mentioning what a duo. 23 steals by Knobloch and also by Derek Jeter, the first middle infielders in Yankee history to each have 20 or more steals in the same season. One on a miss, strike two. Now it's 1-2 on O'Neill. That's almost unbelievable if you base the 23 World Championships that this franchise has had.
Pretty good fastball right there in a good spot, up and in. Now he's out in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes. See what he does. Started him off with a couple breaking balls. I think he'll go back outside with a curveball.
And he does. It's a little bit of a slider on the outside corner. A perfect pitch from Rusch. His first strikeout, 2 gone here the first. Dropped down.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
He dropped down earlier and really looks good. It's you know, Paul didn't like it. He got a strike called. He told Richie Garcia back at the plate, Richie, I really don't like it. I know you're going on vacation tomorrow, but daggone it.
Well, nobody likes to get struck out, and nobody likes the strikeout, I guess, in better words of wisdom. As Garcia looks on and Bernie Williams steps in. That's back up the middle. It hit hard, but Offerman is there, so he forces the runner at second. And the Yankees will leave a man on here in the bottom of the first. Still no score here at the stadium. Second inning, Rabu getting some work in down in the Yankee bullpen right now. Kansas City coming to bat here in the top of the second inning. The Yankees continue their battle against this American League Central when they square off against the Minnesota Twins for a 3-game set starting on Monday, August the 10th, and Tuesday, August the 11th. Both at 7:30. Then on Wednesday, August the 12th at 1 o'clock. On Wednesday, the 12th, all fans will receive a Yankee pad and pin set compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile. And tickets are available now at the stadium and also through Ticketmaster. And boy, could we use a pad and pin up here. I'll be glad when that day comes around. Finally, I'll get me a pad and a pin. Be able to keep score as Dean Palmer steps in for Kansas City. Palmer represents power on this ball club with 25 home runs, 77 RBIs, 280 batting average. That's out of play. Palmer with 13 RBIs in his last 9 games for Kansas City. And in his last 12 games, batting .326 with 5 home runs. Most of that has come as a designated hitter, which kind of messes up Tony Muser and his lineup, though.
Palmer, pretty good third baseman, and played very, very well. Tony Muser right there would love to have him back out at third base.
He's had to play a few guys out of position because of Palmer being on the side a little bit with a sore right foot, and only able to DH for Kansas City. Swing and a miss. That's what El Duque does best. Boy, he takes care of the right-handed bat. So his first strikeout of the game.
Watch this sidearm breaking ball, but he takes a little off of it. Yeah, he's throwing him something hard, and that's just a little off-speed breaking ball. And you watch him, he's out in front, and you just can't stay back. And if you stay back, then he'll throw something hard by you. He's tough on right-handers, Bobby.
Well, here's another one right here, Jeff King. And a pretty good stick he is, 280 batting average. 272 batting average, 21 home runs, 79 RBIs for King. King is a legitimate 100 RBI guy, and also can bang anywhere between 25 and 40 home runs in a year. Kansas City made the trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates because they needed to add that power. They needed some home run power, and that's where they got Dean Palmer to go along with that. Last 9 games, he has been one of the hot sticks along with Offerman and also Palmer. Pass down low. Now it's 3 balls and a strike. Tommy, right-handers coming into this game batting only .153 against Hernandez, as the left-handers bat .320. How about this here?
Well, he has that funky high leg kick, but the thing is, when he drops down and throws the ball, he's got a little juice on it with his fastball.
King pops it up, and Posada is there to put it away on a 3-1 pitch, and 2 gone.
That's
I think Evans Posada got that makeup on just in time.
Oh, man, yes. I think, you know, he could have gone into wardrobe and maybe had a wig or something on later. But going back, watch him catch the ball just like an outfielder. And that ball will always come back towards the infield. That's the rule of catching.
Well, the makeup we talk about is that
now you couldn't wear that, could you?
Black stuff underneath the eyes to cut down the glare, as Larry Sutton steps in, the rookie right fielder. No, I couldn't. I tried it one time. I put it underneath my eyes because I wanted to look mean and like everybody else. And by the time I got to the outfield, I had it all in my eye, and I had to come back in and wash it all off. So that was it for me. I just had to gut it out from that point on. That's the reason they made me a designated hitter. Off the end of the bat, and Rusch is in foul territory, will make the play. So 6 in a row now set down by Hernandez. They played 1.5, still no score here at the stadium.
It's tennis on the edge of your seat.
Coming up, no score here at the stadium. So let's check out the upcoming telecast brought to you by Ford. Expect more, get more. Let your Tri-State quality Ford dealers show you why there's more to afford. We got the conclusion of this Royal Series tomorrow at 1:30 right here on the WB11. And we turn it over to MSG Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 2 7:35 games and a Wednesday 1 o'clock game. Ken Singleton and Jim Cott will be calling the action for you, as Tino Martinez leads it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 2nd. Well hit ball in the right field and past King for a base hit. So Martinez continues his hot hitting.
Pretty good pitch, down and away. Catcher down there on his knees. Look at this. A little breaking ball, but Tino stayed back and just hooked it in the hole between first and second.
Tino had 3 RBIs in the first game yesterday. Now has 6 hits in his last 11 at bats. And Tim Raines, the designated hitter this afternoon, steps in with a .295 average, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. Well hit into center field, but Johnny Damon will gather under it to make the catch, and there's 1 gone. Well, the Yankees, the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks for New York have been a pretty tiring 3 to 4 weeks. They've been on the road quite a bit. They are just returning from the West Coast and played the first split doubleheader here at Yankee Stadium in 34 years. Last time they did it was in I think 1964. Mel Stottlemyre, in fact, pitched the first game of that split doubleheader. But it's a pretty tiring day, and it's a long day for everybody. 1 o'clock game, and then they come back and play a 7:35 game.
That's tough. And then to back that up, you're out of here about 11:30 or so at night, and then you got to come right back for a day game.
Yeah. It's about a 12, 13, 14-hour day. And this is Jorge Posada. I know that when Dulio started the first game, his hair was black, and when he left here last night, it turned gray. That's just how long. See?
What was left of it.
And it's still gray, by the way. Posada out in front of that one, pops it up on the right side. King in foul territory, and there's 2 gone. That'll bring up Shane Spencer, the rookie left fielder, and what a night he had last night. He was 5 for 5, and this is what he did best. He sent one deep in the left field, into the stands, off the glove of Hal Morris for his first major league home run. And what did he do after that? He just sent one. Look, no problem. I'm not going to let Morris touch this one. Off the facade in left field. And he comes out for his first curtain call here at Yankee Stadium. And, man, what a night it was for him. And he's had a grin on his face ever since, and I don't blame him.
He has every right to have a grin. You know, we commented last night that his first 2 times up, he had runners on first base. And instead of trying to pull the ball, he went try to hit the ball in the hole, which he did. 2 balls to the right side. Not only he hits like a veteran.
And he just gets underneath this one here. I mean, this has some hang time. We could go through the alphabet before that ball comes down. He almost got another one on that one. Yankees are gone. They leave another man on. No score.
What the hell is Ansky?
Oh, that's I didn't do good at all.
Slide back.
Yeah, what is that? There you go.
Nice, right?
Yanks.
Yankees.
Yeah! Oh. Let's go! All right!
Dumb son of a...
We got next. People get ready. Get into the city. Come on, join in, everybody. Everybody join in. Working together, mind and soul. Dreaming, believing. It's where you wanna be. Oh, join in, everybody. Everybody join in.
New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Jeep, the most awarded-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Mercer along with Tommy John. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. 6 up and 6 down for El Duque. And Scott Leas, the 3rd baseman, steps in. He will be followed by Mike Sweeney and then Mendy Lopez.
I really believe El Duque could throw more fastballs even to the left-handers and also to the right-handers. Right there, he popped the fastball on Leas because he throws so many breaking balls. You know that's in their mind, and his fastball is good enough that he can pitch inside with it.
That's fouled out of play, so a quick 0-2 count now on Leas.
Now he can, with the fastball away for a strike, a fastball inside for a strike, now he can drop down and wheel and deal.
Well, you were talking about right-handed batters and versus the left-handed bat. Big difference there. That's another pitch fouled out of play.
So what happens right there? That was a pretty good pitch. Leas went out on the plate and fouled it off. Now, Hernandez is a smart enough pitcher that he sees this. Watch the breaking ball. Pretty good pitch. And he's out there on it. Now you come back and you do it again.
And he's got Leas way out in front, popping him up behind home plate. And Posada takes care of it. The Mamaroneck flash. Scott Leas pops out for the first out here in the 3rd. A local ball, lots of friends around Yankee Stadium.
That was the breaking ball that he took just a little bit off of, because you saw Jeff King do the same thing, and you saw Leas right there was out in front, could not stay back.
Yeah, he takes a little bit off, but the big thing is that the hiney is going in the wrong direction.
That's right.
And this is Sweeney taking one inside for a ball.
That's
you
one
get
of
the
those.
hiney going in one direction and the arms going in the other, and there's not a whole lot you can do with the baseball. And that's the fastball again. This time it's in for a called strike. Sweeney batting .270, 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. He's a double man, so even though he has 6 home runs, it appears he likes the gappers. That'll be out of play off to the right side.
I don't know what it would be like to face him with that high leg kick. Now, see, that was a high fastball that he kind of got underneath, and it was looked like a spiral going, but the ball was going in on the right-hander.
Tommy, I don't know what it'd be like just to get my leg up that high. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball for a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts now for Hernandez. Try to get your leg up this high.
Well, I would fall right on my butt.
No, you wouldn't. You and I would probably pull about 3 or 4 hamstrings.
Watch, this is amazing. And they said that he has never had a pulled muscle. He has his own routine of doing his running and stretching, a sprinter's routine from the Cuban track team.
How about that? Always here at Yankee Stadium, we have those innovative fans that come up with those K signs. Hey, I like that one.
El Duque K.
El Duque. A couple K's for El Duque. Swing and a miss. Mendy Lopez now. 1 ball, 1 strike count to him. The 9th place batter for Tony Muser. Lopez, one of 2 rookies for Kansas City in this lineup today. Well, Kansas City, they are somewhat of a young ball club. They could learn a lot from this Yankee pitching staff. And I mean by yesterday was strictly a lesson from the Yankee pitching staff as compared to the Kansas City Royals. Yankee pitching staff, they didn't walk anybody. The Royals, and Pat Rapp got a lesson in the 1st inning. He walked 4, gave up 4 runs. Almost every time he walked somebody, it hurt him.
Tom Bergmeyer and I were talking. Tom, one of the coaches with Kansas City, he said you played 18 innings of baseball. Yankees didn't walk anybody, and the Kansas City Royals walked like 13.
Yeah.
He said, does that tell you why they're leading? He said that's the key to the, it's just, you've got to throw strikes, pitch out in front, and believe me, it's much easier.
Three and 2 count, once again foul out of play. Well, Kansas City is a franchise somewhat in transition anyway. The ownership there is supposedly changing, and they're waiting for that to happen. They say that within 48 hours, they could be announcing a new ownership group in Kansas City. It's being run by the Kaufman Trust now, which is made up of several board members. Popped him up on the right side. Martinez shading his eyes from the sun, so it's 9 men up and 9 men down for Hernandez. No score here at the stadium. Yankees coming up.
Back by popular demand, the Nissan early model year-end clearance has been extended. Right now, with every new 98 Nissan in America, get an amazing
Here at the stadium, no score between Kansas City and New York. As the chase for Roger Maris is on here in 1998. Mark McGuire has hit 1 today, so he's got 46 now. Sosa also has connected for 1. He's got 44. Griffey 41. Vaughn 39. What is that? Well, what a segue that was. Where in the heck is that sign? You got to be kidding me. All right. Hey, I feel honored to be in that group. Yeah, really. Michael Cooney says that's $1 million sign. This is Scott Rusch's. Okay, we've had enough of that. This is Scott Rusch's leading off for the Yankees here in the 3rd inning. No score. Yankees with a couple of base hits. That's out of play. Years ago, TJ, really, if we had known that people were going to hang on to those baseball cards for as long as they've been hanging on with them, I would have taken a better picture. I actually tried to take the worst picture I could take because it kept bothering me to pose for these baseball cards. We didn't think much of them back then. Wouldn't you have done a better job? I mean, I'd have put some makeup on and fluffed my hair up a little bit and posed a little, but I didn't. And I mean, they turned out to look awful.
Well, they come down and get you at the worst possible time after you've been working out in spring training. Perspiration running down your face. Your nose is beet red. You look like somebody off the wine wagon.
Yeah, but did you realize that your card is up to 25 cents now?
That's all of them combined.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's all 26 years.
I just heard 25 cents. I didn't know it was every one of them.
Yeah, that was all of them, cumulative.
All right. Rusch walks. So a leadoff walk for the Yankees here in the third. That'll bring up Knobloch for the second time. So the Yankees have now had a chance to see Glendon Rusch for the first time. And we were talking about walks, and we'll see what happens here with this leadoff walk against the young left-hander. 14 home runs for Knobloch. That's a career high for him. Rusch has 7 stolen bases. As a matter of fact, the Yankees with 123 stolen bases here in 1998. That's second in the American League, just below the Toronto Blue Jays. Up high now. Rusch has fallen behind. 2 balls and no strikes to Knobloch. Hey, Tommy, a big Yankee fan celebrated his 8th birthday yesterday. Nicky Mangione. He is in Mount Sinai Medical Center, so we want to wish him a very happy birthday. And he's a super Yankee fan, so I know he's watching the broadcast today. So happy birthday, Nicky. Maybe Knobloch will do something nice for him right here. 2 balls and a strike. And the off-speed pitch is outside, ball 3. We were talking in the clubhouse today to Keeson, Bergmeyer, and Muser. They were saying that Rusch has got a good arm. He's young, yeah, and he is, as you said, he's on the job training right now, and he can be so good for 4 innings, and then all of a sudden he has the 5th and 6th inning just killing. Lofted down the right field line and just foul. It had enough to get out of here.
Boy, he's had in 11 of his 14 losses, he's given up 3 or more runs in 1 inning, and that's his problem. Is he has the one bad inning, and usually it's after that one time through the order. In Knobloch getting a little body English, just like in golf, when you start getting that lean, you're trying to make that ball just stay straight.
Nobody out, and Rusch thinks that maybe Brocious will be off of this 3-2 pitch. Joe Torre is pretty safe in sitting his runners on with 1 out and no outs. This ball club very patient at home plate. There goes Brocious, and that will be fouled out of play once again. Talking about the patience of the Yankee hitters up and down this lineup, so they don't swing at many bad pitches.
On a 3-2 pitch, tough pitch. That was a real tough pitch, and Knobloch fouled it off. And this is where they are so good. They make the pitcher throw. He's throwing 5, 6, 7 pitches already, 8 pitches. The more you throw, the more chances you have of making a bad one.
There goes Brocious again, and the pitch is, I guess, a called strike, and it's thrown away at second base into center field. Backing up is Damon. So a stolen base for Brocious. A strikeout for Knobloch and an error on Sweeney. I never saw Garcia make a sign on a ball or a strike.
Yeah, he punched him out right there as inside corner. Actually, Rusch did something that that the pundits say you are not supposed to do, and that is drop down and throw sidearm to an opposite hitter. But he dropped down and nicked the inside corner on Knobloch. Brocious did a good job of the slide, popped up, saw the ball, got out into the outfield, and went on over to third base.
So it works out perfectly for the Yankees, even though it's a strikeout. Derek Jeter now gets a chance to knock in Brocious at third with less than 2 outs, and they're going to bring the infield in early. That's I think that just shows respect for El Duque and Hernandez.
Well, they know that the Yankees have a pitcher out there that you can't let him have a run. If you let him have a run, that 1 run might hold up.
Now the count at 1-1 on Derek Jeter.
I know when the old left-hander was pitching, I hated to see that infield come in early in the game, boy, because you're leaving yourself open for a possible big inning.
Looks like a Jeter fan to me.
Now, that's the way Posada should have had. Instead of having the black lines, he should have had a little more, had Gene Monahan do a little more artistic work on his face.
maybe an NY or something like that. She's got a heart drawn, and Jeter in the middle of the heart there. A little tapper, and that's going to be foul off to the right side. Well, Derek Jeter has set a new career high in home runs for himself, and he's only 2 away from the club record. That was set by Roy Smalley back in 1982. Smalley had 16. Well, we've got, what does that say? That's Chuck Knobloch. So we got a Chuck Knobloch fan. They must be sitting together because the designs are the same. Now a little roller. Leyes is at first base. He throws it wide. Rusch will come on to score, and the Yankees will take a 1-0 lead. A mistake by the Kansas City Royals, and once again this ball club by the Yankees takes advantage of it.
Well, Scott Leyes made a bad throw, but I believe Rusch was going to score anyway. He held up until Leyes made his move to first base to throw the ball, and then he's coming in. He would have scored anyway, Bobby, and Leyes just threw it away at first base. I believe that's an RBI for Jeter.
We know one thing, it's a run for the Yankees, that they lead it 1-0. Now O'Neill steps in for the second time. O'Neill struck out his first time up. The fact that Jeter can pick him up and lay him down forced Leyes to not even take a look at Rusch at third. He was only worried about nailing Jeter at first base and threw it wide, rushing his throw because of the speed.
That's absolutely right. We saw Jeter do that up in Seattle on turf, ground balls, and made guys rush their throws because he was hustling all the way.
That's outside and low. We talked about when the inning started, it was the leadoff walk to Scott Rusch, and how many times does that leadoff walk or any walk always come around to haunt you? And it's been one of those unusual runs scored for the Yankees, with a couple of errors in the innings that caused the run for the Yankees at this present time.
What happens, whether it's a leadoff walk or a base hit or an error, if the leadoff man gets on base, about 40% of the time, 45% of the time he scores. But the walk's just absolutely, you could understand a single or an error, but the walk is just a no-no.
And another strike out for Paul O'Neill. That's the second time that he has struck out, and the second time that he has questioned Garcia behind home plate.
That's a pretty good pitch right here. Right over the heart of the plate. Paul, that was a good pitch. The first time up, it might have been a shade outside, but that was a good pitch. See him, he's in, he can't believe it. How'd they call me out?
Second time that O'Neill has struck out. This brings up Bernie Williams. And the pitch is up high. Remember that Jeter is on at first base. He has 23 stolen bases. But a couple of men out. Always a threat to take off. And the slide step now by Glendon Rusch. And the ball is down low for ball 2.
Bobby, Derek Jeter had a walking lead to second base that time. The slide step, I believe, held him up. But he just gets a small lead, and then he'll just walk and he'll bounce.
Hit down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And just at the last minute, curves foul. That's twice in this inning. Knobloch almost had a home run. His ball curved foul at the last minute, and this one by Bernie Williams.
Bernie gets that fastball down and away, and he hit that ball. I thought the ball was going to go out. I thought he had enough speed on the ball to get it out. Well, that's a tough call for the umpires. That ball couldn't have been fouled more than a foot or so.
Well, we've had plenty of controversy here at Yankee Stadium on home run balls, and especially in that area. And the one against the Baltimore Orioles, when the youngster Mayer, Tony Tarasco, trying to pull that ball back in, and the youngster Mayer picking up the ball and causing a huge controversy. And the guy that was involved in that call is behind home plate today, and that was Richie Garcia.
Yes, he was. And you know the one thing that he did right? He saw the replays, and when the press asked him about it, he said, yep, I made a mistake.
Didn't help the Orioles anyway.
No, it didn't help the Orioles, but you know, he looked at it and he said, well, when I was hustling out there, and he was, it showed him running out there, and his view was the ball was in the stands.
In the stands, yeah.
And unfortunately, the umpires don't have the use of replays.
Well, they've always used the human element in baseball to make calls, and believe it or not, with the replays that we have up here and the times that we question their calls on the bang bang play, we go back and look at it on replay, which shows that they're right most of the time. In on the hands, one hop with the Lopez. They force the runner at second, and the leadoff walk comes back to hot Rusch. The Yankees lead it down 1-0.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days. Like a zero down $319 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $814 due at signing. Or take advantage of low 1.9% financing. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check one out at your New England Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Everybody's searching for answers. Everybody tries to find some meaning in their life.
This group of us have become this strange kind of other kind of family.
It's nice to go to the same place every day, and there's something familial about that, and very comforting, and you do develop close friendships like Allison, and it's a special thing.
We really bonded. A lot of the reason it works so well on screens, you know, we're having a good time. I get paid to be a kid. I get paid to make believe. What better a life is there?
New England Actors Theater, performing arts workshops in acting, comedy, voice and speech, movement, singing, commercial voiceovers, Shakespeare, and much, much more. Sites in New Haven and West Hartford. Call for a current brochure, 203-458-7671.
New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Ford. Expect more, get more. Let your Tri-State quality Ford dealers show you why there's more to afford. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Mercer now alongside Susan Wallman, who joins us here in the fourth inning. Glad to see you, Susan. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know it. But you worked that doubleheader yesterday, and I didn't have to. Did you have a good day?
Hey, we had a great day. Yankees won 2. You know,
what could be better than that? Did you get to go to that
I wanted to play one more.
Dinner?
I wanted to play 3 games yesterday.
But you didn't get to go to that dinner that they had.
No, they didn't invite me to their wonderful buffet that I was talking about. I was only kidding on the air when I said Mr. Steinberg's going to have a great buffet for them. Well, he did, but he didn't invite us.
In case anybody wonders what we're talking about, in the day-night doubleheader, in between games, Gene Monahan and Steve Donahue, the trainers, put together a nutritionally balanced meal in the Yankee Club, protein and carbohydrates. Turkey, a little bit of roast beef, lots of pasta, you know about that from marathon running,
yeah.
And pancakes.
Hey, I would have gone for all of it. But nevertheless, there's Steve Donahue. He was part of that along with Gene Monahan and their nutritionist. This is Johnny Damon. Coming up for the second time, El Duque, Susan, with a no-hitter, and he is set down 9 in a row.
And looks tremendous, doesn't he? Pitching inside, and that right-handed delivery, that quirky delivery and high leg kick is just killing those right-handed bats.
Off the end of the bat, a little dunker out into left field. Coming on is Spencer, and going out is Jeter, and it falls in front of Shane Spencer for the first base hit. Perfectly placed. It wasn't hit hard. And anybody that does that, that's a baseball player. It'll put a smile on your face.
And of course, this ball goes right in between Derek Jeter and Shane Spencer. And don't forget, Spencer hasn't had a lot of experience out there. Jeter usually goes out and get that, and usually Jeter is looking at Chad Curtis there. And that, I think, is two players that really don't know each other's capabilities. So the ball bounces in between them.
So the first man is on for Kansas City. This will bring up Hal Morris, who bounced out to the infield his first time up. Lined into left field. Spencer coming on. This time he's able to catch up with it. One gone.
Now, it's a very tough field to play. I remember Ricky Henderson always saying that that's the toughest field in baseball is left field at Yankee Stadium. And it looked like Shane may be blinded a little bit on this strange sun in this field.
Well, you know, it's a strange starting time for the Yankees in Kansas City. This 4:05 starting time as you take a look at the sunshine now, and it engulfs the entire outfield. But the players today, they wear those sunglasses, you know, 24 hours a day, and that helps out a lot.
All different colors. You got sort of the brown tint.
Yeah,
there's a yellow tint and the blue tint.
Whatever meets your fancy in that area. Damon with pretty good speed on at first base. He's got 17 stolen bases. This is Offerman again. He's 0 for 1. Strike one now to Offerman.
Offerman now breaking George Brett's hit streak for Kansas City. He's up to 27 games now. I think Brett had 25.
I think Brett owns it at 30. I think he has the longest hit streak for Kansas City at 30. But anyway, Offerman now with 27. All I know is he still has at least a few more to go to
before we call Joe G. Yeah.
Offerman had really found a home here in Kansas City, though. Former Los Angeles Dodger. And they were talking about Offerman back in his early career, a franchise player for the Dodgers, and he just couldn't settle in at shortstop. And so they finally gave up on him. I think he's found a home at second base here.
He's been very valuable. He's played first base. He's played some outfield for them, and now settled in at second base with Jeff King coming over.
There goes David. Posada's throw will not be in time. In fact, it one hops. Jeter keeps it in the infield. So a stolen base for Damon, his 18th of the year. And with one out.
Posada angry with himself with that throw. He knew as soon as he lets it go that this isn't going to get the job done. And you see him there, and he's going to get very angry with himself, bounces it on the grass, and Jeter cannot not handle it. Now watch Posada. He knows about this throw. He knows as soon as he does it that he made a mistake there.
Well, it's a bang-bang play for the catcher like it is at second base. But they're trying to make a double play. Look at the play by Orlando Hernandez. A shot right back up the middle. And we've talked about what kind of an athlete he really is and how he feels his position.
And you saw it right there, and we've seen it over and over again. And here's a line shot off the bat of Offerman. Hernandez turns to see if there's any chance to get Damon at second, and there wasn't. But he is just a tremendous athlete. We've seen him fielding bunts. We've seen him on pop-ups. He's right there. He has his own, I heard you talking a little bit, he's got his own way of doing things. And when he came out early, Bobby, to do his wind sprints, a standing ovation from everybody in the stands here.
And this is Dean Palmer once again. Palmer 0 for 1, struck out his first time up against Hernandez. A man in scoring position for Palmer, but he hasn't done that well. Only a .216 batting average with runners in scoring position. Hernandez way in front, no balls and 2 strikes on Palmer.
I'm really surprised that people like Dean Palmer and Tim Belcher are still on this team with the trading deadline pass. This team is not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere for a while. And you'd think that they'd try and get something back and restock that farm system.
I'm still surprised about the Randy Johnson trade. Between the Yankees and Cleveland and Houston, Seattle going for 3 youngsters. And the 0-2 pitch, Hernandez unable to put him away on that one. Now it's 1-2.
Well, I think what happened was that Woody Woodward was outmaneuvered by Brian Cashman. And Woody Woodward, because he worked for George years ago, thought that George would panic and fold, and he didn't. And Cleveland pulled out of it because they had traded an awful lot of their kids already, and they weren't going to do it. And they were left with nothing. He overplayed his hand.
Yeah. Way outside. But if, and I don't know for a fact, if the names that I were reading in the paper, you know, if it was just 2 of those names, how could you turn that down from the Yankees? And I understand that even on the Cleveland side, you know, there were a couple of pretty good players there, including Giles, that was included in that trade that really would have helped Seattle out on an immediate basis.
Well, people from Cleveland are now claiming at about 11:30 they pulled out and said, no, we're not trading these kids. And they said no to the Yankees, thinking they would fold and they would throw in a Mendoza or throw in a Mike Lowell, and they weren't going to do it. And so at 11:45, Woody Woodward had nobody left but the Houston Astros. He overplayed his hand.
He may have been a year too late. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Palmer. Good old hard heat from Hernandez, striking out Palmer for the 2nd time. Damon will be stranded at second. Yankees lead it 1-0.
What you want is America's best-selling trucks at a great price. What you need is Ford's factory-authorized clearance. Going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because during Ford's factory-authorized clearance, you can get low 0.9% financing on Ford Ranger. That's 0.9% 48-month financing or $1,000 cash back on the best-selling compact pickup in America. What you want is huge savings on Ford Ranger. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store now.
Coming this fall.
So do you smell something funny?
Check your feet. When you're in love, life's a permanent honeymoon.
Until the City League playoffs are over, you stay out of the strike zone.
And together,
Hey, Mel!
you can get through anything.
Wait till Mel finds out all those meals I cooked were takeout.
Well, almost anything.
It's when they find out what they thought was PMS is your real personality.
For your love.
Hey, Yankee fans, join the excitement when the New York Yankees battle the Texas Rangers on Thursday, August 13th and Friday the 14th, both at 7:30. Then on Saturday the 15th at 1 and Sunday the 16th at 1:30. On the 13th, fans 21 and older will receive an insulated cooler bag, compliments of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. On the 15th, all fans will receive a 1958 World Series replica pin, compliments of Chase Manhattan Bank. On the 16th, fans 14 and under will receive a Zoog toy, compliments of Primordial. Get your tickets now.
All right, bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead it 1-0. It's time to take a look at some out-of-town scores brought to you by Bud. And in the American League, Seattle over Detroit 9-3. That's the final. Oakland 3-2 over Toronto. Game 1 of a doubleheader between Anaheim and Chicago. Chicago leading at 6-3. And the rest of the games a little bit later start this Saturday. Well, let's take a look at the National League. St. Louis and Chicago all tied up at 7. That's in the 11th inning, and McGuire has hit his 46th home run in that game. Tino Martinez leads it off for the Yankees here in the 4th inning. Tino with a base hit to right field, so he's 1 for 1. The Yankees score a run, Susan, in the 3rd inning on no base hits and a leadoff walk and 2 errors.
And I know what you're going to say about the leadoff walk, and doesn't that happen all the time? And the thing, Bobby, that is so remarkable about this team is that every time there seems to be an error, this team takes advantage of it. Somehow, some way, they get that run in.
Well, this is a great team for the Yankees and Joe Torre. They are on a record pace, and these are the types of teams that will take advantage of every little mistake. Martinez pops this one up foul, and Sweeney will take care of it. So there's 1 gone here in the 4th. You go back to some of the great ball clubs around. I mean, you know, the ball clubs of the Yankees in the 60s. You go back to the Orioles in the early 70s. You can go back to Big Red Machine, Cincinnati, and those balls. If you made a mistake against them, I mean, it may open up the floodgates to score 5 or 6 runs. That's what they were looking for.
And they do it as well as anybody. And, you know, I heard you talking about Glendon Rusch here as Tim Raines steps in. And it's kind of an enigma. This kid is just 23 years old, and what seems to have happened is that his changeup has gotten a little harder so that there's not a big difference between the fastball and the changeup. Do you let this kid go out there every 5 days and get his head handed to him and lose 20 games at the end of 23? It's kind of an indictment of their AAA club because there's nobody to bring up to send him down, so they really don't know what to do with him, and Tony Muser's trying everything.
Well, I think it's kind of a statement in what is happening in baseball today. You know, he's on the job training here with Kansas City. Is he better off in the big league getting beat and learning at the same time? Hopefully he is learning. Or is he better in AAA and maybe learning on that level? Obviously, Kansas City thinks that he's better off up here, even though that he's struggling a little bit. He was 6-9 last year. He was their #1 prospect, him and Rosado.
They don't really have a choice down at AAA. There's really nothing down there that they want to bring up and even close to the major league level. But then you look, it depends on his heart and his mental fortitude. Tommy Glavine took hits for a couple of years, right? Got his head handed to him for 2 years.
But I think that's a tough call, but that's a personal call from the manager and the pitching coach on how he is handling what is happening to him on the major league level as he walks Raines with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
And this has been his problem, is walking people. He just picks at corners, used to come right at people last year, and you wonder, Bobby, if that's a function of maybe getting hit around a little bit, that he's starting to pick on the outside of the plate and not going right at batters anymore.
Well, the last walk came around to score, and Posada will step in for the 2nd time. He's 0 for 1. Joe Torre likes to hit and run. And that pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. Raines really doesn't run that much anymore, even though he has 7 stolen bases. But we really don't see him take off as much as we used to. I think more than anything else, Raines he along with Joe Torre protecting those legs.
I think you're right. You want to keep him healthy throughout this season and throughout the postseason. It's a lot more important than him stealing bases. There are enough people on this team that can take a base.
Well, here's the count right here, 2-0, 1 out. They want to try something. Nothing going, and the pitch on the inside corner for a call strike. Toyota box score for New York, only a couple of base hits, but they've scored a run. Jeter and Martinez with the only base hits so far. Inside for ball 3, 3-1. Posada in double digits as far as home runs are concerned, 13. Like many of these Yankee players. Posada also has contributed 40 RBIs. That'll be fouled and out of play.
And if you look at the home run totals on this team and start, there's Joe Girardi on the bench, who Posada calls his big brother. Talks to him between every single inning, tells him what he did right, what he did wrong, taking him under his wing. Yeah, get back to the home runs. If you look down, everybody in double digits, except obviously Shane Spencer, between 14, 18, 14, 17, right, everybody right around the same amount of home runs instead of one guy with 40 and everybody else with 10.
Yeah, the guy that leads the Yankees in home runs is Darryl Strawberry with 21. And he has 21 home runs and only 224 at bats. There goes Raines with the pitch, and the throw down to second is in time. The call was a strikeout on Posada and a throw out at second base, so it turns into a double play. Yankees are gone, but they lead it 1-0.
It's so reliable, you could practically weld the hood shut and drive it forever. The new Correct.
Hey, 59.
The stadium, top of the 5th inning. Yankees lead it 1-0. And Susan, family day here at the stadium.
Oh, there's little Jordan Strawberry. No, he's going back here. Look at that. Little Darryl. There's David Brocious. He's, I think he said he's 18 months old or 20 months, and he's a lefty. And we were playing catch in the clubhouse before the game, David and I, and he's got some arm. Yep. He's a lefty.
Hey, David Brocious, you saw he kicked the ball. Many times when I kicked the ball here at Yankee Stadium, I wanted to grab a hold of my mama's hand, too.
Too far to reach to Oklahoma, though.
What a beautiful day it is when you have the family here to enjoy this beautiful day. I know everybody has had a lot of fun. This is Jeff King leading off for Kansas City. King, Sutton, and Leyes, the scheduled 3 up for Kansas City against Hernandez. High pop-up, right side. Everybody's shading away from the sun. It's Knobloch who makes the play. 1 gone.
El Duque pitching masterfully, and you know what? He was out by himself doing wind sprints, and you just wonder, Bobby, this man is very alone. We've heard the story here. He's all by himself here, and with all these little children around today. I know he's a very emotional man. I'm sure this must have hurt him very badly. He talks about his daughters and thinks about his 2 little girls all the time. This has got to be a very difficult day for him.
They're still back in Cuba.
Still back in Cuba. And with all these little children in the clubhouse, he was out by himself in the outfield running.
Well, I'm sure he knows that where there is a will, there's a way. And before it's all over with, I'm sure that El Duque, or we hope that El Duque can join up with his family here in America before too long.
I sure hope so. I know that he's trying to get his mom out, and I know that they're trying to work on getting his brother out of prison in Cuba. This is tough, and we forget about how the baseball game is over, and he's by himself.
This is Larry Sutton. 0-2 pitch, it up high. Now it's 1-2. This ball club here, the Yankee ball club as a whole, as Sutton pops this one up, he's way out in front. Long run for Bernie Williams, and he will get there. A nice sliding catch from Williams in center field. And there's 2 gone.
And a great play by Bernie. Looked like the sun blinded him a little bit and wasn't sure whether Knobloch was coming out or whether he was going to have to go in. And there he is, and he's yelling for it. And just at the last minute, it looks like the ball tails off, and he reaches out and gets it. Nice play by Bernie Williams and Chuck Knobloch for getting out of the way at the last minute.
Well, it's up to the outfielder to call everybody off, and Bernie had the best view of it. Well, this ball club as a whole, Susan, like they took Hideki Arabu under their wings in spring training. They wanted to make him feel more part of this Yankee family and put a smile on his face. I'm sure they have done and will continue to do the same thing with El Duque. That's just the kind of family that this 25-man roster has put together.
You know, it sounds like a cliche, and it's not. And when you get to be around these men every day, you really do see that is how it is.
And this is Scott Leyes, 0-2 count to him, and even Scotty Leyes, who is a part of this New York scene here out of Mamaroneck. As we take a look at the Toyota box score, his son, Mickey Leyes, is battling leukemia. He's only 2 years old, so a tough time for the Leyes family. We wish them all the best, and especially Mickey. And
it looks like he's got a long road ahead of him, but will be all right. And he starts his heavy-duty chemo pretty soon. And to put it all in perspective, as someone said to me, they're potty training him and giving him chemo all at the same time.
Well, that's his heart. Outside, and that's ball 2-2 on Leyes.
Scotty was saying how his son shows more courage than any adult he's ever seen in his life.
He said he gets his strength from his son, and his son is his hero for sure. El Duque sidearms Leyes for the strikeout. So Kansas City has gone here in the 5th. Yankees lead it 1-0.
Back by Pop.
You lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. El Duque talking it over with Girardi and also David Cohn. You know, Susan, Hernandez's English is getting a lot better now.
Oh, yeah. I think within a month he's going to be very, very fluent. He'll talk to you. You can have a conversation with him like he'll talk on the plane. When he sees microphones, he doesn't want to make a mistake, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed, so he won't talk to the press. But he does have a conversation, and he reads everything they've gotten in books. He listens to tapes. He's learning.
And this is Shane Spencer. 1-1 count to Spencer. Spencer, in his first time up in the 2nd inning, As we take a look at the quote of the week by David Wells, we have some guys coming off the bench who maybe aren't power hitters. And this could be a base hit for Spencer. Coming on, a nice play by Larry Sutton. He came a long ways to take a base hit away from Shane Spencer. A nice diving catch by the rookie right fielder.
And it looks like maybe he pulled something a little bit there, but a good piece of hitting by Shane Spencer going with the pitch. Sutton just makes a tremendous play on this one. Just diving for it. Looks like he was shaking up a tiny little bit on that. But this rookie right fielder is playing very well for Tony Muser.
Well, he wants to take that hit away from another rookie. He doesn't want anybody to outshine him. And this is Rusch's. Let's finish the quote. We have some guys coming off the bench who maybe aren't power hitters, but they'll scrap and create havoc. That's on last night's game from David Wells. And boy, is that true. The Boomer, he's been known to create a little havoc in his time.
Some year he's having. This has got to be the best year. Even that year when he started off 8-0, this has got to be the most proficient year he's ever had in the big leagues.
No doubt about it. And I'm sure he's talking about the guys that were batting 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th in the order for Joe Torre last time. Yeah, they had 12 hits and scored 80% of the runs. Unbelievable.
Soho, isn't it amazing? Soho comes off the bench, doesn't play for a couple of weeks, goes 3 for 5. I asked him yesterday, we were talking about Soho was talking about Shane Spencer. They were kidding Spencer about his 2 home runs. And I said to Louis, what did you do in your first start out there? He said, I went 3 for 5. I had a home run, but I made 3 errors.
Yeah. You know, Soho, he was hit his first triple last night, drove in 2 or 3 runs on that triple. He would be playing today, but he's pooped. He ran out of gas.
Is that what he told you?
Oh, yeah.
He said he was pooped?
Yeah, he was pooped. And this is Rusch fouling out to Sweeney. So 2 gone here in the 5th inning for the Yankees. Oh, there's a lot of equipment there. Watch out. That's some pretty fancy footwork.
Very live for a catcher. Ex-manager Bob Boone loved this kid, said he was a throwback catcher. Loved the way he blocked the plate, loved the way he hit, handles pitchers.
2 gone for New York, and that'll send up Chuck Knobloch. Knobloch 0 for 2. The left-hander out on the mound today for Kansas City. He has lost 5 in a row. Hit hard down the left field line, and it hits off the foul pole in fair territory for a home run, a line drive home run from Chuck Knobloch, his 15th of the year. The Yankees lead it 2-0.
And another line drive home run to left field by Chuck Knobloch, who now has more homers than any Yankee since the All-Star break. Now Glendon Rusch trying to come inside and gets it up right over the plate, and Knobloch can turn on it and gets right on the inside part of that pole. You know, you can say as much as you want. You want your leadoff hitter just to get on, walk, get a single, get a double.
Well, Derek Jeter bounces to Leas at third, but Knobloch with a 2-out home run. Here it is as we take another look at it. Yankees will take a 2-0 lead on that 50.
Yankees over Kansas City as we go to the top of the 6th and welcome in Tommy John. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Are you enjoying Mr. Hernandez? He's having some day.
This is one of his better games that I've seen him pitch. He's pitching the left-handers, fastballs in, change-ups away, and staying away from the breaking ball to the left-handers.
This is Mike Sweeney, the young catcher, and he lines a shot into left field for a hit. Sweeney was batting .268 on the year. He struck out in the 3rd inning.
See the Posada going inside, trying to get the fastball in there, and the El Duque left it up and out over the plate. And Sweeney, actually his swing was a little more vertical, as a right hand had to get on top of it or he would have popped it up.
Another youngster, Mendy Lopez, now playing shortstop for Kansas City as he tries to bunt. He was only hitting 179 at AAA before the call-up. That sort of shows you, TJ, what state AAA Omaha is in these days.
Yeah, it's in Nebraska.
Not that kind of state.
Oh.
1-0 count to Mendy Lopez. Sweeney on first, bunt, foul for a strike.
Susan.
Yes, Tommy.
It's not only Kansas City. It's the Marlins. It's all the mid and small revenue market teams. And Tony Muser, you've got to ride it out. You've got to maybe try and catch the next wave or two. But it's all those teams. They've rushed everybody up, and most of their minor league guys are playing probably a level or two higher than what they should be.
Kansas City 9 games under 500. Swing and a miss, 1-2 to Mendy Lopez. Great changeup there by Hernandez.
You know, with the right-handers, he is so good at dropping down and throwing the heartbreaking ball. Then he'll throw one a little softer, and then he'll throw one that just kind of frisbees up to the plate. And he just has a variance of speeds with that sidearm breaking ball.
1-2 the count to Mendy Lopez. Nobody out. Mike Sweeney on first base. It's 2-0 Yankees. We're in the top of the 6th inning. There's a foul back.
Now with a runner on base, he doesn't pick the leg up as high. But still, he gets down low, and you see him lead with the elbow. And that was look at that ball. Just kind of spun out there right on the outside corner. Now he'll go outside again.
1-2 count to Lopez. And as you said, outside, swing and a miss on that breaking pitch for strike 3. How'd you know he was going to do that?
I didn't think it was going to be a fastball, but he throws so many breaking balls that when he throws the fastball, if he throws the ball 88 miles an hour, it looks like it's about 96 miles an hour.
All right, one gone here in the top of the 6th, and here's Johnny Damon. Now, from the left side, what difference will you see in El Duque here? There's inside for a ball. He is going inside, and that's something that I know that Stottlemyre wants him to do.
I don't think, I don't know how you get it across to him, but what I would tell him is watch Greg Maddux pitch left-handed hitters. He throws them hard fastballs in, a little cutter in, and then if you go away, it's a changeup.
There's a fastball lofted into center field. That's going to drop in between Bernie Williams and Chuck Knobloch. Sweeney will go to third, so there'll be men on first and third with 1 out, and that will bring up Hal Morris.
You know, he's gotten a lot of jammed shots. That ball right there was hit about label deep. See, it's a fastball inside part of the plate. You see it started to tail back, and that's a mistake a lot of pitchers make. It starts to tail back over the plate, but even that, he didn't hit the ball that hard.
Sort of lofted in there.
Yeah, it's just a little lob shot.
This will bring up Hal Morris, ex-Yankee farmhand. Remember when he was here, TJ?
Yes, I do.
Played first base, and there was a guy ahead of him named Mattingly.
Yes, I do. Hal Morris, what a fine young man he is.
1 out here in the top of the 6th. 2-0 Yankees. Sweeney on third base, Damon on first. Get back to Hal Morris. I remember when Lou Piniella said to him, you know, young man, you got to put a little weight on. I want you to hit that weight room and maybe get a left fielder's glove.
Like Lou used to hit the weight room.
Well, he evidently did hit the weight room, Hal Morris. And now he's got a left. It had some very good years in Cincinnati.
But he has a very unique batting style in that he moves around in the batter's box. He'll step. His feet move constantly on there, and he...
There's a line shot that's in the left field, and that is going to score a run. Mike Sweeney will score as Shane Spencer lets that ball drop in front of him. So it's 2-1 Yankees as Hal Morris, who was hitting 190 with runners in scoring position.
Hal Morris has hit with the feet. Watch Morris's feet back foot runs up, and then he steps into the ball. That's the way he's hit all of his life. And it's just a timing thing that he does. Watch his feet, and it'll move in, boom, step. Highly unusual, but he's one of the better hitters that I've seen. I know he hit very well when he was down at Cincinnati.
Sure did. Well, some guys have that leg pickup, and he does a little two-step there. And that, of course, brings up Jose Offerman. It's a little low with the breaking pitch for a ball. Offerman hitting .310 now for Kansas City. 6 homers, 50 RBIs, and he has found a home here. 1-0 the count to Offerman. Outside part of the plate with the curveball. Beautiful pitch.
In our opening, we saw El Duque strike out a left-handed hitter against Oakland on that same pitch. That ball, he just flips out on the plate, and they give up on it. He backdoors them.
It's a little high with that pitch. 2-1 count. That's almost like a David Wells curve on the outside part of the plate.
Yes. Left-handers do it. The best right-handed pitcher I've ever seen do was Lamar Hoyt when he was with the White Sox. Start that ball out there and just kind of flip it and backdoor him all the time.
2-1 count to Offerman. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate.
And Offerman was looking for something off speed, a breaking ball perhaps, because you don't take, when you're up in the count 2-1, you don't take a fastball right there.
And he knows that. Look how frustrated he is.
Yep. That's, if you ask any hitter, you're 2-1, you're going to look fastball, but because El Duque throws so many breaking balls, he gets you leaning that way.
2-2 the count, and there inside in the dirt. Did he swing?
No. Richie Garcia's already asked. When the ball got in the dirt, he immediately went down to third base. Watch the slider down and in, and Posada does a good job of blocking that ball. And you see Richie right there. Boom. That's
3-2 the count to Jose Offerman. Damon on second, Morris on first. Already 1 run in here, 1 out. 2-1 Yankees. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Runners are going. And there's ball 4. So the bases are loaded and will be for Dean Palmer, a third baseman who came over from the Texas Rangers. And we were talking, Tommy, why you'd keep guys like a Dean Palmer or a Tim Belcher when you could start restocking that farm system.
The big thing that they want with Belcher is that Muser and Bruce Keeson don't have enough leaders in that starting rotation. Apier's down, making a comeback, but they need somebody that you can kind of hitch the harness to and let them pull the rest of the starters along because they're so young.
Bases loaded, 1 out here, top of the 6th, and there's a grounder over to Jeter, over to Knobloch for 1, back to first, double play, and the Yankees get out of it, only giving up 1 run. 1 run, RBI single by Hal Morris. So at the end of 5 1/2, 2-1 Yankees.
Everybody's searching for answers. Everybody tries to find some meaning.
Don't forget, action and adventure are on the way starting tonight at 8 first when a friend's life is on the line. Xena must join forces with 2 unlikely allies, and you'll never guess who. Then at 9, Hercules must stop a plot to kill his mother before it kills him too. So be sure to make plans to spend your night with the WB11. 2-1 Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th as El Duque takes congratulations from his teammates Derek Jeter, Mel Stottlemyre. There's Bernie Williams, David Wells, Hideki Irabu. Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez up against Glendon Rusch.
Glendon Rusch has really impressed me with his variance of motions. Dropping down, throwing sidearm to left-handers and right-handers. And right there are 2 good fastballs to Paul O'Neill, a good fastball hitter.
And he's done that twice. He struck him out twice already, Tommy, and he's done that twice to him.
He's throwing fastballs by him, and then he makes just a nasty, nasty pitch. The last one was knee-high right over the heart of the plate.
0-2 to O'Neill. There's a high pitch that O'Neill fouls back.
But watch him drop down, and when he drops down, it gives the hitter a little something to look for, and you see, Paul, that was not a good swing on a bad pitch.
Usually don't see Paul O'Neill swing at a pitch like that. 0-2 the count to O'Neill. Inside for a ball.
I tell you, Paul O'Neill has a hard time against guys that he has not faced before. He likes to know what they're going to throw, what counts, and all this. When you've got a rookie out there, it's just like hit and miss. You just kind of guess and hope for the best.
And you talk about Rusch learning as you go, and he really is. There's a fastball that O'Neill fouls back. And one of the things that the Kansas City Royals and Bruce Keeson and Tony Musa are confused about is that one of the things that Glendon Rusch always has with great control. And now when he gets in trouble, he seems to just lose it. He hasn't today, but that has been his problem. 1-2 the count to O'Neill. Pitch from Rusch, and there's a liner into center field, and it's going to drop in front of Johnny Damon, and O'Neill will be on at first base. Looked like Damon was fooled on that ball, Tommy. Not sure where it was going to land, or is blinded by the sun. No matter, O'Neill is on at first base.
Paul O'Neill got jammed on that ball and didn't get a lot of it. But I think Damon was fooled on the swing. I think he thought he caught more of the ball. Paul hit the ball harder. And you see him bring his hands in right there. He really had to bring his hands in, because if he takes a normal swing, the ball would have hit him about on his wrist.
Bernie Williams 0 for 2 on the afternoon, 2 ground outs. Now batting .346, 14 homers and 60 RBIs. And so much for Bernie Williams missing all that time and being a little rusty.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
And anybody, and we all talked about how Bernie was going to handle things in spring training and what was going to happen, how he was going to handle the pressure of being in his last contract year. And if he's batting .346, he's probably going to win the batting title. 14 homers and 60 RBIs. I think he's handling it just fine.
And he's missed, what, 6-7 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Foul back for Bernie. 2-1 the count to Bernie Williams.
Interesting pitch right there from a youngster. 2-0, but this tells you the respect that Glendon Rusch has for Bernie Williams. 2-0, watch the breaking ball. Bernie had a swing as if he were guessing fastball. That takes a lot of courage.
2-1 the count to Bernie Williams. Paul O'Neill on first base. Fastball low and inside. 3-1 count goes to Bernie.
Now here's where he made a bad pitch, a bad pitch, a good pitch, a bad pitch, and now he's 3-1, and we'll see if he can make a nasty 3-1 pitch. This is when he starts to give it up in this 5th and 6th inning. Historically, this has been his bad innings.
3-1 pitch to Bernie. Right up the middle of the field, and there's a single for Bernie Williams. Paul O'Neill's going to try and go to third, and here's the throw. He slides and is safe. Runners on first and third, and there's nobody out, and that brings up Tino Martinez. And as you said, Tommy John, this is where Glendon Rusch starts to get in trouble.
He tries to make good pitches, and then he doesn't. Well, Paul O'Neill is off with doesn't even slow down. And I would do that every time, because Johnny Damon has a worse arm in the center field than Mickey Rivers had.
All right, Bruce Keeson going out to talk to Glendon Rusch.
Now, Bernie gets jammed here, but you see him pull his hands in. But he's so daggone strong, he just kind of pushed the ball off of him and line drive out into center field. And Bernie had thoughts if he was going to loft the ball, if Damon was going to throw the ball to third base on the fly, Bernie was going to take off for second base.
And that's great bat control. I'm glad you brought about how strong he is. Great bat control to be able to pull your hands in and still line that ball to center field.
That's what Bobby and I talk about. As a batter, you cannot be afraid of getting jammed, because if you're a good hitter, your hands will not let you get jammed. And I guarantee you, Chris Chambliss did not get jammed too many times. And if I'm Shane Spencer, I would be hitched to Chris Chambliss, sitting next to him all the time, trying to figure out how I can be better.
Breaking ball in for strike one to Tino Martinez. Tino Martinez with runners in scoring position this season, 365, 6 homers, and 58 ribbies. Not too shabby. O'Neill on third, Bernie on first, nobody out here, bottom of the 6th, foul back, so it's 0-2. 2-1 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now here's where good hitters, first and third, nobody out. You're 0-2, you give in to the pitcher and try to put the ball in play. Even a double play scores a run. You don't want to strike out or pop up.
Foul off to the left side by O'Neill. By Martinez, excuse me. O'Neill on third.
And Susan, what a pitcher's thinking about is I've got to strike out or pop up this hitter so that I can have a chance to get out of the inning. Now, whether Glendon Rusch is thinking that, I don't know. But a veteran pitcher is looking at this as saying, I'm down 2-1, I need a strikeout.
Low and away for a ball. Now that was the pitch that came across that struck out O'Neill a couple of times a little bit higher, that fastball that crosses the plate. 1-2 the count to Tino Martinez.
He doesn't want to get the ball too high because Tino Martinez is a good high ball hitter.
There's a strike on the inside part of the plate. That was a beautiful pitch, and Tino was just frozen. So there's one down here in the bottom of the 6th.
This is a fastball, almost, watch the ball kind of cut. It just was a straight fastball on the inside corner, and Tino just paralyzed. That was a pitcher's pitch, and that swing was just a little too late. That was good pitching on Rush's part. Yes, it was.
Growing up right here. Low to Tim Raines.
I tell you, playing with the Yankees, playing against the Yankees, that is, will make you old in a hurry.
Well, I'll tell you, Tony Muser was thinking of not starting Glendon Rusch here in Yankee Stadium. 50,000 people on a Saturday afternoon against the Yankees, a kid who's been hammered.
Absolutely not. Go out there and say, son, whatever happens. See, this is where baseball people's wrong. Put him out there and say, son, regardless of what happens, this is a learning experience. This is the best ball club in baseball. This is going to be a very hostile crowd. Go out there and take something from this ball game positive. If you win, great. If you lose, take something from it, because this is one of the best ball clubs you'll ever pitch against. With less than 2 outs, Tim Raines is batting .333 with runners in scoring position on the season. 2-1 count. Scoreboard, I guess, was wrong. I guess that was ball 4. So the bases are loaded with 1 out, and that brings up Jorge Posada. Okay, this is a learning experience. Here. Absolutely. This is a learning experience. He will never learn how to pitch if you only throw him against the Detroits or the Minnesotas or teams like that in small crowds. You got to throw him. Steel only gets hard when you heat it and you temper it, and pitchers are the same way.
Bases loaded, 1 out, and there's a foul back by Posada. Good catch. Good catch. O'Neill on third, Bernie Williams at second. And there's Timmy Raines at first. 0-1 count to Jorge Posada. Posada has popped out to the catcher, Mike Sweeney, and struck out in the 4th inning. 1 out here. Outside for a ball, breaking pitch. Learning experience also, Tommy, for Jorge Posada. We forget sometimes he's still young. There's a swing line right back up the middle. Here comes O'Neill. Here comes Bernie taking the turn at third, and he is going to be safe at the plate as Sweeney drops the ball. 2 runs in, and the Yankees lead 4-1. piece of hitting by Jorge Posada. He's going to get 2 RBIs on that one. Bernie going all the way around from second base. He didn't even look back. Was watching third base coach Willie Randolph with that big windmill sign.
Absolutely not. Ground ball up the middle, and like I said, Johnny Damon does not have a real good arm. But that was a good throw, and had Sweeney held on to the ball, I believe he was out. Bernie is right there, boom, and Richie Garcia had his face right down on the play and saw the ball bounce free.
Well, he lost that ball.
Yes, he did.
That'll bring up Shane Spencer, and he's going to get another base hit and another RBI as Tim Raines comes around third. Hal Morris picks it up, throws it back into shortstop, and the Yankees lead 5-1. RBI single, Shane Spencer.
I'm telling you, Kansas City is going to be like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Who is this guy? Who is this guy that's hitting the ball like that? Shane Spencer is a find. He is a rare find. Slider down and in, just got it inside the bag at third base. Scored Tim Raines. He's on second base, second, third, but now this is what Glendon Rusch has had trouble in the 5th and 6th inning. It's like that third time through the lineup, he's got to learn the pitches to get him out for the third time.
There's a fastball right down the middle of the plate for strike 1. Scott Service warming up in the Kansas City bullpen. Shane Spencer's mom is here, was here last night. First time she ever saw him play was last night, 5 for 5 as a professional. How about that?
That's boy, I tell you, yes it is.
He said she was crying and so excited. Another RBI single for Shane Spencer. 5-1 Yankees is 3 runs in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Foul back to Brocious, 1-2 the count. Posada on third, Spencer on second. Brocious at the plate. 1-2 the count. Glendon Rusch on the mound. Scott Service warming up in the pen. Time call.
The catcher called that. They didn't have the signs right. You want to make sure that everybody knows what's thrown. You don't want, especially with runners on second and third and 3 runs in.
1-2 the count to Brocious. Outside part of the plate, and that's popped out. Out of play. Still 1-2 count to Scott Brocious. He's walked and flied out 0 for 1 this afternoon. Came into the game batting .287. 10 homers, 63 RBIs. 1-2 pitch way outside. Tried to get a breaking pitch over the outside part of the plate.
He's been trying to do that all day. Drop down and throw that breaking ball. Kind of like a Mickey Lolich used to, that low 3/4 and try to break it on the outside part of the plate.
2-2 count to Brocious. Outside part of the plate, long fly ball. If it stays fair, it is going to be home run number 11 for Scott Brocious. A 3-run shot, and the Yankees now lead it 6-1. Homer number 11 for Scott Brocious. 3-run shot into the left field stands.
Susan, it's just a matter of time before the guys get you. Battled hard. Look at that high breaking ball, and you don't throw Brocious high in the strike zone.
6 runs in this inning. Yankees now lead at 8-1. And they talk about Glendon Rusch having 1 bad inning, and this is it.
They said the 5th and 6th inning is the one that he's been giving up all of his runs.
Scott service will come in 8-1. The Yankees will be back right after this.
Back by popular demand, the Nissan early model year-end clearance has been extended. Right now, with every new 98 Nissan in America, get an amazing $2,000 customer cash or 0% APR financing. That's on any Nissan, including the rugged and luxurious Pathfinder 4x4. With standard CD player and shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive, it's the best-selling import SUV in the Northeast. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. For the best selection, visit a Nissan retailer today. This $2,000 or 0% APR offer absolutely ends August 31st.
A tailor is to your suit as a good mechanic is to your car. If your sleeves aren't right or your jacket doesn't rise smoothly, you're not going to look good. Which is why we see our master tailors as our most important accessory. After all, they make sure you look as good in our suits as you do in those that cost a lot more.
Every day, more than 3,000 people buy a suit or sport coat at the Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
1-800-776-SUIT.
It happens every day on the streets.
Hey, Blood.
And there's nothing the cops can do.
Y'all got any dope today? Not us. We just say no to drugs.
Except fight back.
Release the woman, mister. I'll freaking shoot.
It's always gonna be gangs, man. It's always gonna be fighting.
Robert Duvall, Sean Penn.
Somebody get an ambulance!
Colors, Thursday at 8 on WB 59.
For the first time, she's on her own, ready to follow her heart.
You make me think about things that I never...
Scott Service's first pitch to Chuck Knobloch over the outside part of the plate for strike one. 8-1 Yankees as they scored 6 times, and one of these days I'll learn how to add.
It's okay.
3 and 3 is 6, 6 and 2 is 8. There's a strike. 0-2 to Chuck Knobloch.
Scott Service has been very serviceable this year. 53 games, 58 innings. Only 23 walks, pretty good, but 67 strikeouts. Got good stuff. League's only hitting 245 off of him.
Knobloch swinging at a pitch outside the zone. And the 5th inning, Chuck Knobloch, leadoff hitter, and now veritable home run hitter. A line shot off the pole. That was in the top of the 5th inning. Oh, isn't love grand? Chuck on her cheek. Is she with the girl that has Jeter on her cheek?
Scott Service got him with a hard splitter. Went right down in the dirt. And Service, see the pitch, watch it go right straight down. Good split-fingered fastball.
That's what you want a splitter to do, yes? Bounce in the dirt?
You want it to be right down in there. That's why if a splitter is a strike, it's a bad pitch.
Fastball. Low for ball 1 to Derek Jeter. Jeter now batting .319, 14 homers, 56 RBIs. He's 1 for 3 with a single. There's a strike. Jeter gone on in an error in the 3rd inning, lined out to the 3rd baseman in the 5th. Outside breaking pitch for a ball. 2-1 the count to Jeter. The big blow in this 6th inning, 3-run homer by Scott Brocious. 2-run single by Posada, an RBI single by Shane Spencer. It's a grounder foul. So once again, Tommy, the big inning getting to Glendon Rusch.
That's right. And that's part of pitching, though. That's part of the thing. You've got to learn how to avoid that big inning. And he started out with a head in the count to Paul O'Neill, made a good pitch, and gave up a single. Then got a strikeout. You know, so it looked like, well, you know, maybe he can come on, and then hit the walk to Tim Raines to load the bases. That was the killing blow.
3-2 to the count to Derek Jeter. 2 out here. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. But the Yankees do considerable damage. Scott Brochus, 3-run homer, 6 runs in at the end of 6, 8-1 Yankees.
The search is on for a cold-blooded killer behind an unspeakable
Full day in New York, 8-1 Yankees as we go to the top of the 7th, and it was family day today, and there's young Josh Pettit with the eye black. He's a toughie, and there's Tino Martinez with one of his little daughters. We saw his son TJ running around the bases there before, and the duck. What a great afternoon. We saw Joe Torre and his little daughter Andrea Ray with the duck before. A gorgeous day here in New York. Yankee Stadium pretty much full except for the outer wings of the upper deck. Now tomorrow is Beanie Baby Day, and I know they were putting bleacher seats on sale. Everything else is gone. There are a few bleacher seats left in that center field stands, otherwise sold out. So if you don't have a ticket, don't come. Beanie Baby Day.
I've got to believe that the way this ball club's playing, that you can get on a Saturday and Sunday this kind of a crowd.
Without a Beanie Baby?
You should be without a Beanie Baby Day.
They've been doing it fine without Beanie Babies. Jeff King up for Kansas City, as now El Duque has quite a lead to work with. Top of the 7th, 8-1 Yankees. 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th. The big blow, 3-run homer by Scott Brochus. There's a strike, a breaking pitch on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 the count to Jeff King. Stays on the outside part of the plate, a foul back of the breaking pitch by King. King having a very good year for Kansas City. 272, 21 homers, 79 RBIs. Just plays first base now. Used to play third for Pittsburgh. Came over, signed the same time as Jay Bell, who's now in Arizona.
That was one of the signings that had a lot of the general managers scratching their heads, saying, what is this?
1-2 the count to King. He fouls it back. Try and stay alive, fighting off that pitch. Absolutely.
You know, a huge salary for a shortstop. But
Duke and King, royalty on both sides.
I like the Duke's chances on this one better than the King's chances. Watch the fastball. I think he's going to throw him fastball in right here because he's been jamming him. Been jamming him inside. He popped up to the catcher and then popped up to Chuck Knobloch at second base. Hasn't been having good looks.
Outside part of the plate, breaking pitch. And he misses with the ball. 2-2 the count to King.
This is the pitch that the right-handed hitters have a hard time laying off of, but that was out of the strike zone from when El Duque threw it.
High fly ball to center field. Bernie Williams shades his eyes, and he's got it for the first out. When in New York, stay at the Shelburne Murray Hill, where you get a spacious suite for the price of an ordinary hotel room. Call 1-800-ME-SUITE. That brings up right fielder Larry Sutton. Sutton batting .238, 3 homers, 33 RBIs.
Sutton made a nice play on a diving stop in right field a couple innings ago. I believe it was off Paul O'Neill.
Curveball on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Oh, 0-1 the count to Sutton. 8-1 Yankees. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Hernandez pitches inside and misses with the ball. One pitch, and there's a foul back. Strike 2. Right-hander Jim Pitsley now up for Kansas City. This bullpen gets a lot of work. 1-2 the count to Sutton. Outside part of the plate for ball.
You see that breaking ball there? If he would take that against the left-handers and just throw it when he wants a strikeout, but throw the changeup, I really believe he'd be better off.
Outside part of the pitch, great pitch by El Duque for strike 3.
third baseman,
And he just dots the I right here. Boom, that ball hit Posada right in the middle of the chest protector. You know, and it's amazing how he gets that leg that high. And right there, that was a pitcher's pitch.
Brings up Scotty Leyes. Swing and a miss for a strike. Scotty batting .263 since he's been up. No homers and an RBI. 0 for 2 this afternoon. 8-1 Yankees were in the top of the 7th. There's a grounder right back to Hernandez. He'll throw to Tino for the 3rd out. So at the end of 6½, 8-1 Yankees. Will be back.
Yankees baseball on WB 59 is brought to you in part by Connecticut Toyota.
On Yankees as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. They had a 6-run 6th inning. Play ball with Yankee legends Ford, Hunter, Gossage, Nettles, and many more all-time Yankee greats. The New York Yankees Fantasy Camp, January 16th through 22nd, 1999 at the Yankee Spring Training Home, Legends Field in Tampa, Florida. Age 30 or older only. Space is limited. $4,295. Proceeds benefit the Yankee Foundation. Call 1-800-368-CAMP. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. There's a little Derek Jeter fan. He's got his little bat watching the Yankees with an 8-1 lead. He's taking pictures of his favorite Yankees, maybe Paul O'Neill, who steps in to face Jim Pitsley, big right-hander. And Tommy, this is not exactly the kind of reliever that you want. 55 2/3 innings. He's got 34 walks and 35 strikeouts.
Well, it shows you he doesn't have a lot of control and not a lot of stuff on the pitches.
And 70 hits in that 55 2/3 innings. And of course, you look for hits as opposed to innings pitched, and that is not a terrific ratio for the big right-hander. 8-1 Yankees, and there we're seeing why. And when someone is that big and tall and lanky, we've talked about this before, mechanics, it's so easy to throw that off, I would think.
The taller you are, that's why Randy Johnson is really unusual. The taller you are, the higher your center of gravity. The higher the center of gravity, it means you're more apt to get thrown off, to rush or do whatever, break down.
There's ball 4, and that's what we were just talking about. Walk total and strikeout total even now at 35, and that can't be what you want out of a relief pitcher.
But a lot of the scouts now are going and they want to sign the big 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" pitchers because they claim that they're throwing the ball more downhill. And I said, I don't care if the guy's 5'9". If he can pitch, what difference does it make? But they have all these weird things now in baseball that they try to quantify the scouting process. And all it is, can you get batters out? Can you throw strikes?
Bernie Williams 1 for 3 in the afternoon, 2 groundouts and a single. He's now batting .348, 14 homers, 60 RBIs. There's ball 1 to Bernie Williams. O'Neill on first, nobody out. There's a strike, fastball over the middle of the plate. Count all even at 1 apiece. One-on-one the count to Bernie Williams. There's a breaking pitch that Bernie fouls back. 1-2. Frank White, great Royals second baseman. He actually was the first graduate of that Kansas City Academy. Yeah.
There are 2 guys right there, 2 of the better second basemen in the American League. One played on turf, one played on natural grass.
And all those battles for all those years.
You better believe it.
Good to see Frank White back in Kansas City. I know he was a coach with the Red Sox for a while. Lou Gorman brought him over. Lou Gorman was running that Kansas City Academy way back then.
Was it UL Washington, one of the guys from the academy also,
so.
I believe?
There's a slew of them. But Frank White, the first, and Lou's Pride Project.
That was a good idea.
Sure was.
That academy. Why it didn't catch on, I have no idea.
I think it's probably a little ahead of its time as Bernie takes a ball outside 3-2. This is over 25 years ago.
That's
Long time ago. Didn't have the money to keep those kinds of things going. Paul O'Neill on first with a walk. Bernie Williams with a 3-2 count on him. Nobody out here in the bottom of the seventh. 8-1 Yankees. Kansas City with their third pitcher, Jim Pitsley, who replaced Scott Service. There's a fastball grounder. Leyes gets it over to second for one. Back to first. Safe at first. Bernie with that great speed, beating out that pivot throw from the second baseman, Jose Offerman.
Susan, Offerman did not watch him throw the ball here. He just kind of lobs it over to first base. And when Bernie's running, you better have some giddy up on it.
As if he didn't realize who was running.
Yeah, he just took it and just took a nice casual throw.
Or maybe what he's trying to do is aim it so he doesn't throw it into the stands, which he used to do when he was playing shortstop.
Yeah, but it's a closer throw. You know, while we have time here, we'd like to congratulate Richard and Holly McNamara of Pelham, New York. They were married today.
And they're here?
No. They're at their party, at the reception. They probably got the Yankee game on Channel 11.
Grounder to left field with her base hit for Dino Martinez. There's Chad Curtis, who ran for Bernie Williams. That's Tino's second hit of the afternoon. He's now 2 for 4. So Curtis will replace Bernie in center field. Shane Spencer playing left this afternoon as a reward for his 5 for 5 evening last night.
You know, with Shane Spencer swinging a hot bat, he gets a start. Now this is where Curtis is really valuable. Come in a game like this, and Bernie can play hard, go 7 innings. It's kind of like a starting pitcher. You go hard for 7, and you let the bullpen pick you up. When you've got Chad Curtis, he started all these games, but this is where he is really valuable.
Chad Curtis with his 3-year extension. Obviously, the Yankees think he's valuable, too, and he has been a terrific pickup for this team. There's a fly ball over out of play on the left side. Count 0-2 to Tim Raines. You know, interesting, Shane Spencer, Tommy, talking before the game about how he knows when Philly Davis comes back, he'll probably go back to Columbus, but he's shown people that he can hit major league pitching.
Well, I think both the outfielders down there, Ricky Leday and Shane Spencer, have showed him that they can hit big league pitching, and it's just a matter of getting your chance.
Curtis at second, Tino Martinez at first, Tim Raines at the plate, 1-2 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, 8-1 Yankees. There's Shane Spencer.
You know, when you're 6'7" and you're out there, he does not take advantage of his height. Watch him get down low on his back leg, kind of like Stan Williams, who drop and drive and then get his hand down. If you're 6'7" or so, stand tall and throw the ball on a downward plane.
2-2 the count to Raines. That's up high for a ball.
And it just looks like he's getting underneath the ball and pushing it up and pushing the ball high. If you're tall, a tree doesn't fall. If you chop it down, that doesn't fall from the base first. It falls from the top down, and that's the way you want to pitch.
3-2 count to Tim Raines. And there's a line shot into right center field. That'll score Curtis. Tino goes to third, and it's an RBI single for Timmy Raines. The Yankees now lead it 9-1. And just as you were saying, Tommy, that stayed up in the zone, and he just clocked it right into right field.
See the catcher giving him a good low target, but the ball was inside half of the plate. And watch his glove go up towards Tim Raines. And that's right down the middle of the plate, and Timmy got a good extension. Didn't try to do anything a lot with that pitch, just a nice solid swing. Centered the ball on the bat for a line drive.
You know who he reminds me of at the beginning of his career? Eric Plunk, who was that big, tall, lanky guy and couldn't get anything down in the zone. Everything was up. It was a little further up. Some of them wound up on the screen. And I remember when he came over here from Oakland, he had terrible trouble with control. Same kind of thing.
Those two guys don't have trouble with control. Just controlling the emotions.
9-1 Yankees, bottom of the 7th inning, 1 run in here. RBI single by Tim Raines. That brings up Jorge Posada. He had a big 2-run single in that 6th inning. That 6-run 6th inning.
Yes, he did. That ground ball right up the middle.
Ball 1 count to Posada. There's a strike. And that evens the count at 1-1. Posada catching today. Girardi will catch tomorrow when Andy Pettit's on the mound. There's a little breaking pitch for a strike. 1-2 the count. In case anybody's wondering, Andy Pettit is going to pitch tomorrow. He threw before the game. No pain at all on that back. Joe said, okay, you're on. Foul back. You know, at this point in the year, if there's any kind of question, Joe Torre's going to say, sit down, we'll see you in a day or two.
That's exactly right, and that's the way you should. You know, now, if the Yankees were a game or two up, then you may have to force guys out there with little owies and get them going. But golly, you got this big lead. You want to make sure that they're healthy and they don't hurt themselves further.
Little owies?
Yeah. You know, like a little tenderness in your arm. Sometimes you got to pitch with a little soreness in your arm.
Everybody does.
If you don't, you'll never pitch. If you only pitch when you feel good.
But there's no need if you feel a catch in your back. Of course, all the trouble Andy had last year with his back. But he's fine, and he will be on the mound tomorrow. 1-2 count. Ball gets away from Sweeney. No move, but Raines will go to second base.
This is a passed ball, or at least it should be. That ball hits him right in the glove.
That's indeed what it is, as Bill Shannon, the official scorer, calls it a pass ball.
Sweeney was trying to frame that pitch, trying to get his glove around it, and didn't catch the ball. It doesn't do any good to frame it unless you got to catch it first.
It's high for a ball, 3-2, and that's what you were talking about, pushing the ball up.
Well, he gets down so low that when he never gets on top of the ball. Use your height.
3-2 count to Jorge Posada. 1 out here, bottom of the 7th. 1 run in. Yankees lead at 9-1. Foul back. Jorge protecting the plate there. That was a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Nice bit of hitting to protect it. Foul it off. Last 3 games, the Yankees have scored 31 runs to the Royals 5. It wasn't so long ago we were talking about the offense, which had disappeared. 3-2 the count. There's a shot foul.
You know, I recall coming up to Toronto and doing a game up there, and everybody was saying, oh my heavens, you know, the ball club's in a slump. They're 3-2 on this road trip. And, you know, but they got beat by Jarrett Wright, Roger Clemens, and Guzman beat them. Well, you know, that's 3 pretty good pitchers that can pitch, but they're so good that it's just like you expect them to excel every time.
3-2 count, and there's a long fly ball to right field. Sutton going back. It's off the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes Raines. And it's a 2-run double for Jorge Posada. And the Yankees now lead 11-1. Fourth RBI on the afternoon for Georgie. Congratulations all around in the Yankee dugout.
This is a pretty good pitch, a little breaking ball down and in, and Posada went down and got it. Most left-handed hitters like the ball down and in, but Larry Sutton made a good barehanded catch off that wall.
See Sutton going back, and they love him as a right fielder. Very smart play. Knew where the ball was going to come off of that wall. Very smart play for a rookie. 0-1 count as Shane Spencer gets up. It's now 11-1 Yankees, 3 runs in here in the 7th inning. So 6 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in so far in the 7th off of this bullpen. That was low for a ball. Shane Spencer now has the ball from his first hit in Anaheim. The home runs from last night. 1-1 the count to the young left fielder. Foul back.
He got the second home run too, because we saw on television Mike Stanton negotiating a trade for the home run ball with another ball or two that they were doing, but I didn't know that he got the last home run. That's neat.
That's what he said. I asked him if he got him. He said, "How many?" I said, "How many balls you got?" He said, "I got all 3." 11-1 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 1 out here, 1-2 count to Shane Spencer. One and 2 pitch inside, breaking pitch for a ball. I think all you want to do is show the Yankee brass that you can play on this level.
That's right.
No matter what happens. 2-2 the count to Spencer. Breaking pitch for a strike. Strike 3 on Spencer.
Good breaking ball here, and he gets a very good call from Richie Garcia. The ball was inside, and Spencer gave up on the ball, and the curveball just had a little too much bite.
Here's Scott Rusch, who had a 3-run homer in that 6th inning, scored a run in the 3rd, and there's a grounder to short. Over to first base for the final out. But the Yankees score 3. The score is now 11-1. Bobby Mercer coming back. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Susan.
Everybody.
Sam never takes Rebecca seriously, but this time she's going to make him sit up and take notice. She wants his bar, and she'll do anything to get it. Now their barroom brawl is about to turn into an ugly free-for-all. Who will win the battle for the bar? It's Sam versus Rebecca on chairs. That's tonight at 11, only on the WB11. Well, Homer Bush now will come in to play second base for the Yankees at another blowout here at Yankee Stadium against the Kansas City Royals. Big crowd on hand. Bobby Mercer along with Tommy John. We thank Susan Wallman for being with us this afternoon. In fact, Susan did a pretty good job, TJ. Along with El Duque Orlando Hernandez, she got 9 runs for the Yankees in the 6th and the 7th while she was here. So I know this crowd has really enjoyed it. And the Yankees taking advantage of that Kansas City pitching once again.
Well, the Kansas City staff had over a 5 ERA, and they were next to last in the American League in pitching. And they're young, and hopefully Tony Muser and Bruce Keeson hope that they'll get better.
This is Mike Sweeney leading it off for KC, and Derek Jeter. Nice play at shortstop. Sweeney takes a tumble, and he's gone. It took the umpire at first base longer to make the call. I think he was waiting to see if Tito Martinez could hold on to the ball.
What a play. Derek Jeter backhands it, and then right over the top. And he just got the front part of the bag, and I think he got Tino Martinez's foot along with it. We'll see if he gets He just kind of got tripped up on Tino's foot. Brian O'Nora, the first base umpire, stayed right with it. Look at that, right over the top. What a strong call, or throw. Good call, strong throw.
And a nice play by Derek Jeter at short, helping out Hernandez. So Mendy Lopez down, the 9th place batter steps in. Lopez is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yankees 11 and Kansas City 1. Yankees in that doubleheader yesterday beat KC 8-2 at the first game and scored 12 runs on Kansas City in the second.
What you don't want to do here, Bobby, is you don't want to try to make more out of pitching than what it is. You got an 11-run lead. The worst thing you can do is walk hitters, and you just challenge them and try to get them to hit the ball on the ground.
3-1 pitch swung on and missed. Now it's 3-2 on Lopez.
Now's the time that if you want to try something on a hitter, it's a perfect time. You have an 11-1 lead. If you want to try to blow a fastball in.
Well, no fastball in, but it's a fastball blown by Lopez for another strikeout. So 6 strikeouts now for Hernandez. Stottlemyre on the phone. Last 3 games, we take a look at the runs scored. Yankees 33 and the Royals 6, and this game still has an inning and a third left in it. Hernandez going for another win. This is Johnny Damon swinging at the first pitch and popping it up. Homer Busch out on the grass towards right field, puts it away, and Kansas City has gone 1-2-3. Yankees in charge, 11-1. On earth, and the game summary looks like this. It's all Yankees. New York third. Rusch scored on Leas' throwing error. Knobloch with another home run, a solo shot in the 5th inning. Morris for Kansas City with an RBI single in the 6th. Posada 2 RBIs again. Spencer an RBI single. Rusch a 3-run home run to cap it off in the 6th inning. Raines RBI single. And Posada comes back with another couple of runs batted in that 7th inning. So the Yankees having big innings in the 6th and the 7th inning to blow this game wide open. And Stottlemyre, TJ, looks like having a conversation with Orlando Hernandez, and it may be all for him. He went 9 innings in his last outing. He's over 100 pitches here.
Well, he went 9 in his last outing. The outing before that, he got roughed up in Anaheim. And here is the Yankee. There's the scorecard. And this is Ricky Bonas.
So Homer Busch leads it off for the Yankees here in the 8th inning. He came in to play second base the last inning for Knobloch. Knobloch leads the game 1 for 4 with his 15th home run. That came in the 5th inning. Swing and a foul over towards Kansas City. Now it's 1-1 on Busch. Busch played third base last night in place of Rusch in that second game of the split doubleheader. And it was the Fab Four for the Yankees last night. And if you take a look at this game today, the Fab Four is coming through again. I'm talking about the latter 4 in this lineup.
The Fab Four. Sounds like a recruiting class.
And Brocious, Shane Spencer, they are all part of that Fab Four.
You know, we've said this how many times. You get through those first 5 guys, and the pitcher has a tendency to kind of let down or go, man, you know, I got through there.
Hit hard and gloved nicely by Offerman. Offerman takes a base hit away from Busch.
Offerman showed a pretty soft glove right here. That was a hanging slider. And this is what Homer Busch, look at that, going hard down the line. When you don't get a chance to play a lot, you got to do everything right. And he's running as hard as he can go. Nice play by Offerman, though.
Offerman has made some nice plays in this 3-game series at second base. 1 out, and Jeter will step in. Chop foul left side. Jeter 1 for 4.
As Ricky Bonas gets more and more innings in, I think you'll start to see Muser use him more out of the bullpen, because he is one of the guys that can throw strikes and has decent stuff.
And this time Jeter goes to right field for a base hit. Bobbled momentarily by Larry Sutton, but not enough to allow Jeter to take second base. The Yankees with their 13th, check that, the 12th base hit, and the second by Jeter. Nice piece of hitting here.
Well, you see him just get that head down and go right on out to right field. A good breaking ball by Bonas, and Derek said, hey, that's right where I want it.
So Derek Jeter is on at first base. They will not hold him on with that 11-1 lead. So Paul O'Neill's the guy they're worried about. Good breaking ball from Bonas. O'Neill 1 for 3. He has struck out a couple of times. The Yankees batted around in the 6th inning for the 27th time here in 1998. 27 times this ball club has batted around in one inning. Now it's 2-1. The Yankees with a big crowd on hand today. They are expecting a huge crowd tomorrow as Mariano Rivera and Mike Jerzenbeck begin to warm up for the Yankees. Tomorrow is Beanie Baby Day. They are going to give out a stretch Beanie Baby. Andy Pettit is scheduled to toe the mound tomorrow afternoon in the finale of this 4-game series between New York and KC. Another base hit for the Yankees. Paul O'Neill with another base hit, his second of the day. Jeter holds at second. Runners at first and second, only one out for New York in the 8th. They say if you are coming to tomorrow's game, as they take another look at this base hit.
Ricky Bonas got to wonder what's going on here. That ball was down about shin high, and O'Neill just golfed it out there for a base hit.
So Curtis will come to the plate now. He came in to run for Bernie Williams back in the 7th inning. So he will get a chance to hit. Bernie may have hurt himself when he slid into home plate. He took a pretty good hit from Sweeney on that slide, and normally Bernie would not come out of the game, so maybe he hurt his knee, or he wanted to ice it down or whatever in this blowout. That's down low. I'm only speculating. But to get back to tomorrow's crowd, a sellout crowd is expected for tomorrow. They say they still have a few bleacher seats available, but if you are coming, come early. And if you're not coming to the game tomorrow, you can't get a ticket. You can always tune in right here on the WB11, and Tommy and myself will be talking about something. I imagine we'll be talking about the Yankees' 83-29 record after today's ball game, and how about this? Their 41-8 record here at Yankee Stadium. They've only lost 8 games all year. Can you imagine that at Yankee Stadium?
You know, you're supposed to win at home, but at that percentage, that is just abnormal.
41-8. The Boomer has always pitched well here at Yankee Stadium. David Cone, I don't think we can remember the last time that he lost a game here at the stadium. Arabu pitches well at Yankee Stadium. He's coming up on Monday. And Hernandez is getting used to pitching here at the stadium, and I think he likes it. This could be 2. Lopez to Offerman for 1. Back to King, not in time, as Curtis hustles down the line. Jeter will end up at third. That's a trademark of this ball club, though. They never quit. You saw Homer Bush run it out with the first out of this inning, and then Curtis beating out the double play here.
And this is the same kind of ball that happened last time. Offerman does not get a lot on his throw to second, or from second to first. And you better throw the ball hard, because the Yankee runners are going down there as hard as they can go. You know, that's good to see. With an 11-1 lead, they still work hard. They still hustle.
And this is Luis Sojo, and that is Sweeney, and that is not anything that you want to deal with there. He is in tremendous pain. Oh, my goodness. What else could go wrong for Kansas City? He took a direct hit. Catchers have all kinds of protection, but the protection that they have doesn't always protect every area. Let's take another look at it.
Yep, that was a short hop.
He is in dire pain, and the trainer is out there along with the skipper, Muser. Looks like Sweeney is going to leave the game. That's Sal Fasano, who has donned the catcher's gear now. He will come in and catch the rest of the game. And they'll take Sweeney back into the trainer's room.
Now we have, what, 5 or 6 guys? 5 guys on the disabled list, and this is the last thing you want to see.
Talked about the disabled list for Kansas City. Kevin Apier is on the 60-day DL. He underwent arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder. Bevel is on the 15-day. Jamie Walker on the 15-day. Conine, he's on the disabled list. And just recently, they put Shane Mack on the DL. So that disabled list for Kansas City is full. Sojo batting, he's batting .222. No home runs, 8 RBIs. He hasn't had a whole lot ABs this year, but last night he had a huge night for New York in the second game. He was 3 for 5, a triple and a couple of singles, and 4 RBIs. And he got a lot of ribbing from the Yankee dugout after that triple. Looked like he was slowly running out of gas as he was cruising into third. He played first base for the Yankees in the second game, giving Tino a chance to rest. The Yankees with quite a few multifaceted players on this ball club that can play a variety of positions. It's kind of like you come to the ballpark and you say, well, Skipper, where do you want me to play today?
But the thing about Sojo, being a shortstop second baseman, he can play third without any problem, and then going over to first base, it's the same thing. You're fielding. He made some great plays on fielding ball.
Back up the middle, almost took Bonus with him. Jeter will come back in to score. The Yankees will lead it 12-1, and Sojo, pinch hitting for Martinez, is 1 for 1. He picks up another RBI. Oh my goodness.
Right down the middle of the plate, and Ricky Bonus did a good job of eluding that ball. That, my heavens, the balls are, you look at that. Balls are tracking down the Kansas City ball players. Wow.
Raines is 1 for 2. He has walked twice, but he's also scored a couple of times, and he's picked up his 38th RBI. 12-1, New York leads it with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. That'll be out of play off to the left side. I think Dulio's hair is turning black again. No, I guess it's not. It's still gray. There's Dooley. Yeah, it's still gray. I thought for a minute when I looked over it was the headphones.
You know, Doolio's getting taller. He's pushing right up out of his hair.
Popped up left side. If it stays, well, it's going to go back into the stands, so a souvenir. Doolio recently retired, and in fact, that's what I was told, but we somehow cannot get rid of it. It's not that we want to, Doolio. We do like you. That's what they say. That's what they tell me to say, anyway. That's what he told me to say. Another foul off to the left side. Yeah, we're not going to look too smart after tomorrow either, TJ. Our buddy Mike Avalone, who is our statistician and one that makes us look pretty smart. We don't always come up with all these stats, these things. He will leave after tomorrow's game and go back to college. And so we'll have to do everything on our own. I have no idea how we're going to do that, but there's Mike. Yeah, right here, our guy. All the stuff is right here in front of him. He just feeds it right over here to me, and sometimes I slip to Tommy if I want him to look smart. What a great job he does.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, that's a tall order, but Mike and I, we try every once in a while. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Raines.
Yeah, you know, it's just that time of year. Colleges are starting. Schools in North Carolina, Bobby, have been back for 1 week.
Up high, ball 4. The bases are loaded with a couple of men out as Raines walks for the 3rd time in this game. Look at Tony Muser. He looks like he's in some sort of shock down there in the dugout. I don't blame him.
Well, you get your chance to manage, and you want to manage in the big leagues, and then you come up and you get it, and you just have one of those kind of years that.
And Posada is having one of those career years for himself. He is 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. He has also scored a run. Check that, 4 RBIs. Lozano now will go out to talk to Bonus about throwing the ball over the plate, I guess. Well, the Yankees continue their battle against the American League Central when they square off against the Twins for a 3-game set starting on Monday, August the 10th, and then Tuesday, August 11th. Both games start at 7:30. Then on Wednesday, the 12th at 1 o'clock. On Wednesday, the 12th, all fans will receive a Yankee pad and pin, and that's a pad and pin set compliments of Atlantic Bell Mobile. Another base hit for Posada. More RBIs. 2 more for Posada. And the Yankees will take a 12 or take that 14-1. And Jorge Posada is having some kind of day. 6 RBIs. 3 hits. That is a career high for Posada. And we saw earlier where Posada had put his makeup on, and boy, I'll tell you what, he's got the right makeup on today.
I would have to do that again. What a good swing this was. Golly.
Shane Spencer with a base hit and a run batted in. Posada gives himself a chance for the left side and also the right side.
Look at that. Head down, good extension.
Right field. And going back is Offerman. He'll take the one-handed catch, and finally the inning is over with. Yankees scored 3 more. They lead at 14-1. Baseball is sponsored by the Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America. Toyota every day. Based on the Arnell Polk 1997 total passenger car registrations. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. And of course, by The Wiz. For total entertainment, nobody beats The Wiz, a Cablevision company. Well, Well, a few clouds are beginning to settle. It looks like just above Yankee Stadium here. It's been a gorgeous day for baseball. The Yankees have taken full advantage of it. They lead at 14-1 on 15 base hits. And the newcomer in the bullpen, Mike Jerzenbeck, will now take over here in the 9th inning.
Mike Jerzenbeck making his first appearance as a Yankee. You see right there, 124 innings down in Columbus, 95 strikeouts. This guy's got good stuff. He comes from the Queens, from Archbishop Malloy High School out in Jamaica, Queens. And he attended the University of North Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. Wonder if he knows Michael Jordan.
I'm sure he does. We all know Michael Jordan. This is Hal Morris. First pitch inside for a ball. One hit out of 3 attempts for Morris today. Jerzenbeck was recalled from Columbus, AAA club of the Yankees, on Tuesday. And this Yankee bullpen, Tommy, has not allowed a run in 33 innings. You talk about closing the door.
A lot of people think that's their Achilles heel, but just when they start raising that question, you're right, they shut the door right on it.
Morris pops it up off to the left side. And Rusch hauls it in foul territory, 1 gone. Frustrating day for Kansas City. In fact, it's been a frustrating 3 games for this KC ball club. Jose Offerman, who is officially 0 for 2 today, his 27-game hitting streak is on the line. He's the hitter now. So he's got his last chance to keep it alive here against Jerzenbeck. That's outside for a ball. In fact, he got his 26th game hitting streak, kept it alive last night with his last at bat in the 2nd game. This will tap around and throw them out. Jerzenbeck picks it up and throws him out, so the hitting streak is gone by the wayside at 27 for Offerman.
Bobby, I think Mike Jerzenbeck has outstanding stuff. I've seen him pitch against the Charlotte Knights for the Clippers, and I just think he's going to be a very good pitcher. See the ball sink down and away, and Offerman pulled off the ball and hit it off the end of the bat. Jerzenbeck in good fielding position coming off the mound. Makes a good play.
And Dean Palmer takes one in there for a called strike. Well, the Yankee bullpen, you are hearing some new names down there because Jeff Nelson's on this disabled list, and he's still got the bad back, but we understand he's getting a little bit closer to maybe starting his rehab stint.
Well, that'll be
Nelson's
good news.
been on the DL now about a month, has he?
About that, yes. Yeah. That'll be good news for the Yankees because that son of a gun is tough on right-handers.
Don't tell the rest of baseball.
You know, the reason Jerzenbeck's up, Buddy started the game the other night and pitched a relatively good game. They had to get him down because his arm was tired, so they had to bring a fresh arm up, and that's how Jerzenbeck came up. Go for the punch out.
Well,
Go for the punch out.
The Yankee fans, they've got the 14-1 lead.
Go for it.
And they're standing up, applauding. They want the strikeout.
Going for the changeup.
Get them down. Don't let them up. And they'll get the strikeout. That'll make them happy. The Yankees win another one by the score of 14-1. And Hernandez picks up his 7th win of the year against 3 losses. And the Yankees record now goes to 83-29 and 42-8 here at Yankee Stadium. What a year they are putting together. What a day it has been for Posada and the Fab Four in this Yankee lineup. A lot of new career highs are being set here at Yankee Stadium in 1998. Lots of high fives, and I love those new handshakes. It's so sanitary, too, you know. Let's take a look at the last out recorded by Jerzenbeck, the strikeout of Palmer. And El Duque sitting on the bench, and he enjoys what he sees in the 9th inning. Yankees win it by the score of 14-1. We'll be back with the wrap-up right after this.
Yankees baseball on WB 59 is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers, Dunkin' Donuts, and Nissan. What you want is a great selection of America's best-selling cars. What you need is Ford's factory-authorized clearance, going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because during Ford's factory-authorized clearance, you can get low, zero-down financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Escort and Contour. What you want is the best car. What you need is low, zero-down financing or $1,000 cash back. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store now.
Lemonade. Can't forget strawberry.
New fruit curada from Dunkin' Donuts. Come see what all the excitement's about. Backed by popular demand, the Nissan early model year-end clearance has been extended. Right now, with every new 98 Nissan in America, get an amazing $2,000 customer cash or 0% APR financing. That's on any Nissan, including the rugged and luxurious Pathfinder 4x4. With standard CD player and shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive, it's the best-selling import SUV in the Northeast. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. For the best selection, visit a Nissan retailer today. This $2,000 or 0% APR offer absolutely ends August 31st.
Well, that's it from Yankee Stadium, and the final score once again a blowout here. 14-1, the Yankees win it.